So let's get to it. We will begin with opening statements. Opening arguments began yesterday in Jonathan Major's domestic violence trial. The actor faces charges of misdemeanor assault, aggravated harassment following an incident in March involving his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. Could face up to a year in jail if convicted. The prosecutor, Michael Perez, said in his opening statement that the Loki actor assaulted Jabari while they were in a car in Manhattan on the night of March 25th. Perez claims that Majors slapped Jabari across the face and grabbed her hand violently during a fight over a text message on Majors' phone. Apparently, the actor also threw her like a football back into the car when she tried to get out, something Perez said that the driver would testify to. Now, during her opening statement, Major's lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, argued that it was Jabari who assaulted the actor. Jabari, quote, slapped, clawed, and scratched him. She also accused Jabari of making false allegations in order to take away everything that Majors has spent his whole life working for. So this is going to get ugly.
Yeah.
This is not somebody just saying, I didn't do it. This is somebody saying, no, she did it.
Right.
So it's going to be
back and forth for a long time.
Back and forth.
And while this all goes on, who's going to pull the trigger on a project with him in it right now?
Right.
You know?
I don't know.
You don't know how this is going to play out. You don't know.
Julia Roberts broke her silence on ex-Matthew Perry's death in a new interview with Entertainment Tonight. The Oscar winner who briefly dated Matthew for 3 months in 1995 after she guest starred on Friends said that it is heartbreaking that Matthew died so unexpectedly.
Wasn't she, didn't he write about her in his book saying that he was so addicted to the drugs that he wasn't even paying attention?
Yeah, I'll read that passage to you. So she said the sudden passing of anybody so young is heartbreaking. I think that it just helps all of us who just appreciate what we have and to keep going in a positive way as best we can. She also reflected on her experience appearing on Friends as a former childhood classmate of Chandler Bing. She said, all good things, all good thoughts and feelings. They were also welcoming to me as just a kind of one-off character, and it was really a fun time, she said. Before his death, Matthew did, as Kathy said, write about the relationship in his memoir. He said that they had a 3-month courtship where they sent each other letters via fax. He said, I was so excited that some nights I would find myself out at some party sharing a flirtatious exchange with an attractive woman and cut the conversation short so I could race home and see if a new fax had arrived. After 3 months of dating, Matthew decided to end things with her. He said, dating Julia Roberts had been too much for me. I had been constantly certain that she was going to break up with me. Why would she not? I was not enough. I could never be enough. I was broken, bent, unlovable. So instead of facing the inevitability of in the agony of losing her, I broke up with the beautiful and brilliant Julia Roberts.
That self-sabotage thing is that happens with a lot of people, where this person can't really be in love with me, so I'll sabotage it so I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, and plus he was on drugs.
Yeah, drugs. Yeah.
By the way, Friends just so happens to play a role in Julia's new film called Leave the World Behind as well. Mahershala Ali, co-star, said it's beautiful that he could sort of be honored in that way, or the show sort of be honored coincidentally at this time. So it's kind of nice that it has a little space in there. I don't know to what level it's in the movie, but apparently there's some kind of a reference or a nod, or I'm not really sure what
Maybe
happens.
they reenact the pivot scene.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they do. A dramatic moment. So, Golden Bachelor star Jerry Turner has admitted that he lied about not dating any other women between his wife's 2017 death and appearing on the hit reality show.
Oh, I've been with lots of whores.
Asked about his lies, which were exposed to The Hollywood Reporter, Turner told Katie Couric, I guess I would say this. I dated a number of women, but then it becomes an issue of how you define whether you're in a relationship. Turner was exposed by an ex who gave her name as Carolyn. She said that she enjoyed a year-long relationship with the reality star after his wife of 45 years, Tony, died of an infection in 2017. Turner claimed on TV that Tony's death had plunged him into such deep grief that he had only countenanced a romance again after being approached to appear on the hit show.
Okay.
But Carolyn, who's 14 years younger than him, said that she began dating Turner just 2 months after his wife died. They grew so close that she spent time at his Indiana lake house, only for Turner to later dump her for gaining 10 pounds.
Less golden.
This is what she said.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It is multiple sides to every story.
Asked about those claims, he said that the romance with Turner, quote, didn't really last a few years. He then quickly changed the subject, saying, but I want to focus on what's going on now.
Well, here's the deal. They needed to have this story to tell when they roll out the first Golden Bachelor.
Sure.
You needed the absolute perfect Golden Bachelor, a widower who could not. That was his one and only. He's looking for love, so they create the whole story. I think also, Preston, there was an article I sent you where they talked about him being a restaurateur.
It's in this.
Yeah.
So she also said that he was with his money, and he would make her pay for half of their meals before they ate out, so he could then pick up the check and look like a gent. Cleanliness was an issue for him. So there's all these little things coming
Now,
out.
are these simply, the idiosyncrasies of somebody who's just a regular person? But it shows you too. And a funny thing watching the show as Golden Bachelor progressed. In the beginning, it was like, this is a dynamic that is interesting because people are looking for love in the latter part of their life, and that makes it a little bit more profound. But about halfway through, it becomes the regular Bachelor.
Right.
It's the same stuff going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
He did concede that his claims of being a successful retired restaurateur were inflated and that the mom and pop hamburger store he had owned closed in 1985. Turner, who has since worked as a hot tub maintenance man, told Katie Couric, the business I owned was very much like the Cadillac diner that Teresa and I went to on our very first date. I sold burgers and fries and shakes, and it was very profitable business, he said.
Yeah, you were thinking like a Steven Starr type of guy when you heard restaurateur and you saw him all dapper and so on and so forth, and he was running.
But I guess if you own and run a restaurant, you're a restaurateur.
You're a restaurateur, exactly.
It falls
It's like,
under
remember that Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
Oh, yeah.
And they inflated the like if they liquidated everything this guy had ever owned, they just barely creased $1 million.
Yeah. All right, how great is this story? 65 years after its release, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee has officially become the #1 song in the country.
This blew my mind. This is so cool.
And it breaks a bunch of records. Do we have that, Case?
Yeah, probably.
On Monday, Billboard confirmed that Lee's classic holiday tune had appeared atop this week's Hot 100 chart, which measures the 100 most popular songs in the U.S. Not surprisingly, the list is populated at the moment by a number of Christmas staples, including Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You and Bobby Helms' Jingle Bell Rock. Lee celebrated the achievement with a short note on her Instagram story. She wrote, "We did it, Brendanators."
Brendanators.
By the way, how interesting is this? Brenda Lee, listen to her voice. She was 13 years old when she recorded this.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
It does not sound like a 13-year-old.
So this is the voice of a 13-year-old.
Yeah, right here, yeah.
65 years ago, right?
Yeah, I just feel like everybody back then always just looked older.
They were all adults anyway.
Yeah.
But
What are you saying?
This is a teenager, a young teenager.
You know, when you hear, there's, like some kids today too. You'll see them. They're cute. They're little. Even their speaking voice, and then they sing, and you're like, what is coming out of their vocal cords?
And by the way, one of the cool things about this was that it was a kind of a rock song, though we don't perceive it as such.
By the way, how long was it? And maybe not you, Steve. You're a few years smidge older than us, but was it before you realized that Que Sera Sera was sung by a man? That is Wayne Newton singing that song. It sounds like a woman, but he was a kid. He was a little kid.
Donkashane would be.
Or Donkashane. I'm sorry, not Que Sera Sera. Yeah,
Okay.
Donkashane was sung by him. He was a kid.
Dankeschön.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, dankeschön.
Yeah,
And he's got a great voice.
he does.
So, she was 13 years old when she recorded Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. By the way, at 78, she becomes the oldest performer in history to top the Hot 100. Her tune also sets a new record for the longest gap between a song's release and its appearance at the top spot. The previous record holder was All I Want for Christmas Is You. That took 25 years before it hit the top spot.
The Christmas landscape, Christmas music landscape, magical things happen with the charts because every year, like in England,
the Top of the Pops.
Yeah, Top of the Pops.
That's in Love Actually.
Exactly.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
They put campaigns out to try to scoot songs up to the #1 spot. Yeah.
Jace was asking me the other day, which I thought was a good question. When was the last time like a hit holiday song was written?
Well, Kelly Clarkson's is pretty big.
Okay. What is it? Do you know?
Oh, yeah.
But that's hers?
Yeah.
Was that
Or is that a remake?
I think that's a remake.
I think it's a remake.
It's a remake of that.
Christmas, sundown, what a wonderful sight. As long as I have
Yeah, that's
you
not
here
hers.
tonight.
That's not hers?
I don't think. No.
Okay.
I don't
know.
Chris, can you do a little
anybody else
investigation on that?
Yeah.
That's hers.
Underneath the tree.
And then Ariana Grande had one. She
Find
tried
out
it.
who wrote that, please, if you would.
Stop and think about the ones that are the big hits. Like Mariah had a big hit.
Monstrous.
So,
I'm going
yeah.
to see her next week. Mariah Carey.
At the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a Christmas show too.
I know.
There's a whole conceit. Yeah.
Is there we're looking for
It's at the top. The wiki.
Is it?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
right here.
Okay. Song from I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know
That's a
if
good one. All right. Now I have an answer for
Songwriters,
him.
Kelly Clarkson, yes. So there you go. There's an answer
well,
for
so
Jace.
that's a good one. Because, I mean, a lot of them are, well, the majority of them are, so very old.
Yeah, they come and if they stick or they don't, and the ones that stick forever.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, the guy who wrote "Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree" in 1958 is Johnny Marks, and he also wrote Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
Yes. Yeah.
Silver and Gold,
What?
Holly Jolly Christmas, and I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day.
And Smack My Bitch Up.
Wow.
Yeah, for Prodigy.
Yeah. 2 years after its initial release, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree entered Billboard's Hot 100 for the first time, coming in at number 14.
And Marx is a holiday machine for that many holiday hits.
Yep. And Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree is Brenda Lee's third number one song. The Georgia-born singer previously topped the Hot 100 chart with I'm Sorry and I Want to Be Wanted. Both songs were released in 1960.
It's crazy, man.
Isn't that awesome?
65 years between the release and it becoming number one.
Good for her.
Was there anything that propelled it?
Yes, there was a TikTok video that came out. They created an actual music video for it, and who else was in it? A couple of country stars were in it, with Tanya Tucker and Trisha Yearwood.
Wow.
Were in it. So they just did that, and that created some renewed interest.
Revitalized it.
So,
That's pretty cool.
So now she created a TikTok account, and she's got like 84,000 followers. Brenda Lee does, who she's working on.
We should put our Living Nativity video from years ago up on TikTok and see if
I
that
love
gets
that.
any traction.
I loved it.
That was a masterpiece of ours.
It was one of the best we've ever done.
Yeah.
Because Casey was baby Jesus. And it was so awesome. All right, a couple other things to mention. Vanessa Hudgens and Cole Tucker have tied the knot. Yeah! A High School Musical alum and her fiance, professional baseball player Cole Tucker, said I do on Saturday in Tulum, Mexico.
Cole Tucker's such a classic sports sounding name.
yeah.
That's
It's-
Cole Tucker.
Yeah, either a shortstop or a NASCAR driver.
NASCAR, yeah.
Over the weekend, a photo surfaced of Hudgens, posing on the beach, barefoot in a casual white dress, further fueling speculation the actress celebrated her wedding. Her former HSM co-star Monique Coleman posted a video to her Instagram story showing footage of a tropical setting in Tulum.
She's so good in Tick Tick Boom.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really...
And the grease, the live grease thing they did on Fox.
The pair first sparked dating rumors in November 2020 when they were seen holding hands in Los Angeles. They shared the happy news of their engagement in February.
you.
Apparently they are. And they met Casey. They made their red carpet debut at the premiere of Tick Tick Boom, by the way. All right. Let's see. Time for a couple more things here. How about this? Jennifer Garner shared a funny story to Instagram on Sunday about how she came to dance with
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
She danced
I
with-
apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chris Lagan, the philosopher of evil,
and the Skull Sealer. No, she was dancing with the Rockettes.
Oh.
And in the video, she shared that her friend, Reese Witherspoon, sent her a DM urging her to please go dance with the Rockettes. And since Garner was in New York City, she decided to do her best to actually make it happen.
She loves dancing. She posts a lot of dancing videos.
She does. And for the whole friendship, she said, I pretty much do anything. She added a video of herself dancing with the troupe, and at the end, the dancers wave and say, Merry Christmas, Reese. and then reposted the video with the caption writing, "This might be the greatest gift I've ever received from this glorious, joy-seeking, dance-loving woman, Jen. You made my whole holiday season."
I know that you guys love Jennifer Garner. Did you guys know she's...
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life. I apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chrysagon.
It just goes on too long. Too long of a clip.
Okay, so
she's in one of those body switching movies, but it's the whole family. So she switches with her daughter. Her husband switches with his son or their son. So I've never seen that conceit before.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love her.
And apparently there's a bit of a creepiness where the husband and wife kiss. But they're
oh no,
yeah, they're brother and sister, and it's supposed to be like
I like the creepiness,
very cringy thing.
Have you ever seen the Rockettes?
Not live. No, not live.
They're unbelievable.
It looks pretty amazing.
You can't help it. You've seen them, right, Kathy?
Yes, I did. I have seen them. There's a local girl from Bucks County who is a Rockette. I tried to get her on the show, but the Rockettes responded, and they just basically were like, "No,
what?"
During the season, they're too busy, and they have like a very strict schedule.
The show that did 6 jars of farts?
No, I don't think it was because it was us. I think it was because it's in season for them.
Okay. I love them though. They're great.
I always secretly wanted to be a Rockette.
Yeah.
You know,
well, we can still do it.
We can make that.
Come on, man.
Maybe it's a Christmas miracle, Preston.
We could do that. But I would always, me and my former bandmates, we would do the knee kick line.
We got to get you to do this.
Love that. All right, this is a fun story. Tom Hanks detailed his first ever interaction with Cher during a recent appearance on the Graham Norton show, and Cher was there for it. They panel on that show, and he revealed that he served her while she was working as a bellhop at the Hilton Hotel in the 1970s. He said, "I've worked for Cher. I was a bellman at the Oakland Hilton Hotel," and Cher was shocked and said, "No way." And he said, "You were with one of your rock and roll husbands, and we had your bag, and the word came down, hey, run this up to Cher's room." So I did. I knocked on the door, and I put it down. You came out and said, "Yeah, that's it. Thanks, kid." And that was it. And it was Tom Hanks who dropped off the bag for her.
For Cher.
That's a great story. I love it. So how about this? Kim Kardashian is continuing to expand her acting career. According to Deadline, the reality star is set to star in a legal drama by Ryan Murphy.
Oh, man.
Following her breakthrough performance in American Horror story Delicate.
So I guess, well, Ryan Murphy's...
Yeah.
He's on board with the Kim Kardashian acting career then.
She will play a top divorce lawyer in Los Angeles and the owner of an all-female law firm.
You want to kiss me?
That series will appear on Hulu. Nicolas Cage is preparing to bid farewell to Hollywood. Yes.
Hollywood. See you later. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
The actor told Vanity Fair in a recent interview, "I may have 3 or 4 more movies left in me." And he said, "I do feel that I
did 4 movies last week."
He said, "I've said what I've had to say with cinema, and I think I took film performance as far as I could. I do want to get much more severe and stringent in my selection process, and I want to say bye on a high note."
His new movie's supposed to be really good. It's kind of a quasi-sci-fi thing.
So he is eyeballing the end of his
That's it.
career.
Over.
Yeah.
Favorite Nick Cage movie?
God, I think Nick Cage is great. Yeah, what is
tough, right?
What's that?
It's tough.
Face Off is a John Woo movie. It's
I'd have to see a list of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I like?
Right?
Really, I love Snake Eyes, the one where it takes place in one day with Gary Sinise in out Atlantic City. I love The Rock.
Movie
It's gotta
I
be The
liked
Rock,
him in.
probably.
It was a rom-com, but it was heartbreaking as well. Was City of Angels.
City of Angels.
I thought he was good
Oh,
in it.
yeah. I remember
I
that
thought he
one.
was solid in that. And then, was this from that?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
We were just talking about it.
Well, Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona
Yeah.
is a masterpiece.
What's the one where he's an alcoholic and it's
Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh my God,
He
it's
won the
so
Oscar for
depressing.
that.
I mean, it's an amazing movie, but dear God, it's depressing.
It's hard. Yeah. A lot of good stuff.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is one of the more recent ones. Is great.
All right. Well, I have one more story to pass along.
All right,
and then we're gonna get to the clips. Hillary Farr is leaving the hit HGTV show Love It or List It after 19 seasons.
Are you a big fan, Case? Love it or list it?
No, but I watch it anyway, and I love her. I think she is a
She's hot.
she is an elegant, beautiful woman.
She is, I agree.
Yeah.
An elegant, older, beautiful woman, and she doesn't take any crap, man.
No.
She's a hard ass.
But those
She's a brassy lady.
those shows, and this one in particular, it pisses me off because they always run into like some $5,000 issue.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
like,
that's
oh,
always
and
part of it.
I know it's part of it. But I'm over it. And you know what I mean? Like, dude, just kick in the $5,000. You know what I mean?
Here's
Like,
the problem.
yeah.
To complete it, we're going to need $5,000. Here you go.
But-
right?
Yeah. All right, here you go.
Yeah.
But they can't do that because they have a lot of shows to do in the season, and they can't just keep adding money onto it. You know what I
I
mean?
disagree. But
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because they all those shows are in syndication. They run over and over and over and over and over again. They're making money off. They're making $5,000.
It was like Extreme Makeover, the home edition.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to get it done in time. Okay, don't finish it.
So she told People Magazine she is going to miss everything about working with her co-host, David Vicentin. Commenting on their real-life dynamic, she said, "We are who we are on that show. Think of your brother as the most obnoxious and annoying. That's David." And she relayed a story when they were on a plane together. She said, "We were on a flight once, and we were just talking and semi-arguing. I mean, the way we do. Also making each other laugh. And we noticed something going on across the aisle, and it was somebody actually begging the stewardesses to find him a new seat because we were so obnoxious and annoying. We are oblivious to how it is, but that's just how we are. A thing happens when we're together," she says. So she's moving on from that.
Yeah.
You know what? She was actually, I looked her up one time to see what her credits were. She is in the movie Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Really?
Yeah. She has
The original movie.
The original movie. She has a bit part in the very, very beginning when they're out in front of the church, when Brad and Janet get
Right,
married.
yeah.
And she's one of the bridesmaids, I believe. Yeah.
There we go.
Or she's
There's
dressed
a
as
picture of
bride.
her.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So they tried to do like a Canadian version of Love It or List It, and I would watch that as well. And the male part, like host in that one,
Is a moose.
No, he used to be in this show with Ryan Reynolds that I used to watch all the time when I was in high school called 15. It was a soap opera for teenagers.
I like those shows in general. I mean, I can hang on that channel for a while.
You know what, man? No, I haven't. I have not watched HGTV in forever.
Huh.
It used to be like, especially on a Saturday, man, I would just put that on and it would just stay on all day.
Well, now I'm in Hallmark mode.
Yeah.
It's it can be background noise if you need it to be.
Yeah.
If you're doing some work or have something else going on, it can just kind of roll.
I don't even know if there's any new, because the last new show I remember on that
Lick It or
network-
Suck It is the new one.
Lick It. Oh, see, I haven't even seen that. I don't even know what it's about.
Just suck it.
Just suck it. Yeah. I think this one is a sucker.
Yeah.
He's gonna lick it.
Lick it or suck it. Oh my God. I see a porn parody.
There we go.
Without question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and HGTV has become Attack of the Beautiful People, which is not a terrible thing, but it's all those hosts are attractive.
I think you and I have. We both ended up somehow on the one in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
What was that one that was just all the
So like the real estate?
Yeah, they were just going to trying to find a house in Hawaii.
Three houses. They checked 3 houses for the people looking, and which in your budget, I forget what that show was, but it was
House Hunters.
House Hunters Hawaii.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yep, that's a good one.
Well, and then they do the ones in Costa Rica, and you're like, that house isn't so expensive. I
Right.
could live in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, we're ready for the clips. Here we go, gang. The new Disney animated movie Wish is about a girl who makes a wish so powerful that it's answered by a cosmic force and ends up having to save her kingdom from an evil king. And in this clip, writer Jennifer Lee discusses the symbolism of this film.
We kept saying as we would talk about the sadness of how you stop pursuing your wishes, you say, it's like you have this wish and then you forget. They would just say, and then you forget. But we were saying this as we were having conversations. And we're just saying, that really should just be part of this. It's symbolically about that idea that life becomes so distracting that you do forget that wish or forget to consider it.
Oh, shut up, woman.
Wow.
So Wish is exclusively in theaters now. Next clip. Leo is an animated film about a lizard who has been stuck in the same school for decades and has to rescue his class from their substitute teacher here. Adam Sandler speaks about the main message of this movie.
The premise is going through what elementary school kids think about what they go through, the stress of it, and having the nerves of saying, oh man, they think I'm growing up. I have to move to middle school. I have to be ready. And just wanted to hit the things they think about, the ways to try to conquer fears, but not too heavy-handed.
Leo is streaming on Netflix now, if you would like to see that.
It is a huge hit for them. The streaming numbers are through the roof.
Oh, yeah? For Leo?
Sandler has a great relationship with Netflix, and they love the hell out of him.
Excellent. Do you remember Bert Kreischer was interviewing him for the first time, and he goes, do you have Netflix? And he legitimately was asking that question. That was so classic.
Was he
Bert.
calling it Happy Madison, too?
He's a massive Sandler fan, and he was so nervous he was screwing up right and left.
All right, that's the entertainment report. By the way, Steve Tech says, oh, my God, Steve, your lick it or suck it comment made me spit out a sip of tea and pee a little bit.
Oh, nice.
On my way to work. Now we'll have pee in my pants all day. Thanks, Steve.
Oh, sorry about that.
Lick it or suck it. All right. Let us take a break. Don't forget it's Tattoo Tuesday. If you would like to, put tattoo like lick it or suck it on yourself and quote the Preston and Steve show, you can do that because it's a Preston and Steve show themed tattoo. Text word tattoo to 39333, and you might win from our friends at Floating World Tattoo and Piercing, 1729 South Street in Philadelphia. We will be right back. Stay with us.
People will go to actually cheat, and I went to a really good school, and we would literally cheat in groups, and the teachers had no idea. That's how
No
oblivious.
idea.
I guess they were just paid so well that I swear they didn't care.
Do you think there's some credence to the fact that schools who rely on, how the school's performing would allow this to happen?
I guess to keep up with their
reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's conceivable.
I went to a really good school, so I guess high test scores were super important.
So it's plausible deniability. Right? That you can say, okay, they're just getting good grades.
And what's funny enough, in 9th grade, I actually had a social studies teacher that would literally grade you on if he liked you or not. We would write what we had for breakfast on, literally, I would write the most ridiculous answers, and some of them would be right and some of them would be wrong. I swear this man graded you on whether he liked you or not, or maybe your outfit that day. I swear
I bet
he
you
didn't
did
care.
very well.
Yes, being stunningly gorgeous helps too.
I passed, by the way. And he fed us. He was a G. He was awesome.
What's going on over here? Just because she's super hot, she passes? I'm here writing goddamn code. My fingers are falling off. She talks about having egos and she gets an A+.
You're a good sport, Ben.
That was an outrage, frankly. Goddamn, says I have a rheumatoid arthritis writing all this code. And over here, she says she had a Pop-Tart for breakfast. She has an A+.
I love when you threaten to kick their ass.
Outside now, I'm going to put my foot so far up your ass, you're going to see my big toe coming out your nose.
Oh, my God.
All right, we have to wrap this up.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. No. Officials are working to contain a scabies outbreak.
No. What the hell?
This is at Radnor Middle School and one student from Radnor Elementary School. Yeah. Yep.
Scabies.
Mm-hmm. And at least 18 students were diagnosed with the infectious disease.
Okay, what is scabies?
It's a rash.
Okay.
Isn't that... Wait, okay. Scabies isn't crabs?
Well, it's caused by a mite. A little creature.
Okay.
But they normally it's not visible to the naked eye. But it's not crabs.
It's not okay.
It's not like
but
crotch
do you
crabs.
get it down there?
You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
so
you're lucky.
The scabies will burrow under the skin and lay eggs.
Oh, God.
An itchy rash consisting of raised tracts, bumps, or blisters may appear on parts of the body, including between fingers, wrists, elbows, armpits, waistline, thighs, and genitalia.
Including the nutsack.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Well, there
all the little crevices and cracks.
Yeah.
They lay their
Ball
eggs.
sacks are yummy.
I remember in high school there was an outbreak in our school, but it was everyone who was getting it down there.
Yeah. And so it seems like it's few and far between that we have scabies outbreaks. I always consider that one of those bizarre peripheral things like scurvy and gout.
There was the guy that I told you about that wanted to go halfsies on the fleshlight.
Oh yeah. And by the way, again, take that in. Nick knows someone who wanted to go halvesies on a fleshlight.
Yeah.
God, I hate him.
Yeah, me too. I love him, but I hate him. But there was an outbreak of it in college.
Is this guy an Elvis impersonator by any chance?
No. But he was at the Nationals game last night. But he was in college. He got scabies, and he got it through sexual contact, and so would make fun of him incessantly afterwards. And the way that we'd make fun of him was just by saying scabies every time we would walk by. But yeah, he got it through sexual contact with a very dirty girl.
Okay, all right. By the way, Steve, you mentioned scurvy. Scurvy, I read the other day, is making a comeback.
Of course.
Hey, it's all the rage.
Because of like fasting diets and things like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're not getting the vitamin C that they
All right,
need,
what
I
is
guess.
that?
We thought we'd missed out on it, Preston, because we weren't able to take the trip to the New World.
Yeah, it's a vitamin C deficiency, and it can make you really, really sick.
It's like fruit and stuff like that was how you bought it, right? And leprosy, we learned, is making a comeback.
That's where the term limeys came from, is when the English would travel, they would load up all these limes to try and keep scurvy away. Hang on a second. Maddie has scabies, and Kathy's going to leave the room now. She doesn't even want to be on the phone with somebody with scabies. Hey, how you doing, Maddie?
Good. I had scabies.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, it says actually has scabies.
Yes,
Okay.
I had scabies, and it was horrible. I think I got it on the Appalachian Trail because there was no STD thing going on.
Yep. Okay. So it's interesting that you mentioned that, and that's possibly where this particular outbreak came from. But I'll get into those details in a moment. How bad did it get for you?
It was horrible, dude. Every fold in your skin on your body, they burrow into and they lay eggs, and there's these little tunnels. It's horrible. And
You're laughing as you're talking about scabies tunnels.
yes,
Yeah.
these tunnels. They're like under your skin, like in your knuckles and the creases of your finger.
So Maddie,
Kathy, in your junk too.
in your junk. Okay, we're looking at a picture. You're right, Maddie. It says skin condition caused by burrowing mite.
And they lay the eggs in there, yeah.
They lay the eggs. It was horrible. They gave me this poison that I had to rub all over my body.
Yep.
And I had to wait like an hour and let it seep in. And then blistering caused. There was blistering afterwards.
Maddie, let me ask you: did they make the trip down to your junk? Did you have it around that region?
They were anywhere there's a fold or a crease. There is burrowing mite.
And not for anything. Go ahead.
Here's the reason why it spreads like that. The incubation period is 2 to 6 weeks.
God.
Before the itching even occurs, so it gets all over your body. These
and you
things,
don't know yet?
And like you said, Maddie, listen, it says the doctor in this story said you apply this cream, it's a topical prescription, from scalp to toes. Every part of the body.
Everywhere, and it burns.
And then you have to sleep overnight with it on. They said it needs to be on for 8 to 10 hours for it to work properly. Yeah.
Do you have to put it in the butthole?
Oh, my God.
You put it everywhere, Frank.
Okay.
Thank you for clearing your throat.
Yeah. Do you have to put it butthole?
No, I'm a 40-year-old man, and I had it when I was 30, and I had to have my mother rub the cream on my back. That's how
you didn't have to.
Yeah, I would have.
Mommy, can you
who else am I going to ask?
I don't know.
Thanks, Maddie. I appreciate it.
Maybe like a girlfriend or wife.
Somebody who could put it in your...
Mother? I have to go over to my 30-year-old single son and rub ointment in his ass.
That is horrifying.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I did not realize the burrowing was an issue. That adds a whole other realm of hell to it. I always thought it was a slightly bit more benign, but it does sound very similar to genital crabs.
So they said the outbreak was caused by a camping trip that some of the students attended.
Oh, they went to Whore Island.
The doctor said they all hung out together, which is the typical story for scabies. Some of the kids we did see a few of them, and that that most likely it was just because they were all in close contact with each other. They were camping.
Oh yeah,
And that's when the whores come in.
It's true. So sleeping bags and things of that nature, and camping tents. It's a confined space.
I've had a few texts come in, and also it looked like a call had been up as well. Were you guys familiar with chiggers?
Yeah. Chiggers, yes.
Yeah. Growing up I lived in the South for a little while, and we were always warned about, those look like chigger bites. Which were painful. I mean, because you could scratch them until they bled almost. I mean, as a kid, I was just like, it itched so much you wouldn't stop scratching.
That's why that park went out of business at Chiggerland.
Yeah, no, that's Digger World.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're thinking of. But anyhow, I don't know if they're the same.
They're related, I guess.
Are they?
Yeah, they're also mites. They're just different kind of mites.
Chiggers, I always assumed were a little bit bigger.
I don't know. Mites, I guess, you can't really see them.
No, these ones are called trombiculid mites.
Okay.
Which are different than the scabies mites.
By the way, there are little creatures all over your body all the time, Kathy.
I
right?
plan on it.
Well, stop it.
Like in your hair follicles?
Constantly. Crawling in and out of all sorts of orifices.
No, not mine.
And then they, of course, they have to defecate.
Right.
Oh, my God.
I mean, they are alive.
I mean, and so all over your body, there's little recesses where they're crapping.
Right.
And then having sex.
Interesting.
In your own body.
Growing up, my dogs would get fleas all the time.
Yeah.
And it's never been an issue.
From sleeping with dirty dogs.
No, but I mean, it's kind of an invasive species.
It's incredibly invasive.
And
once you get it in the house,
we had to have our house bombed a couple of times. And because, my one dog, he would just kind of like hop the fence and run the neighborhood. So I don't know where you pick up fleas. Where do you?
Anywhere.
Any street corner.
Yeah.
You should dress like slutty.
Nothing quite like Scabby Welts, man.
Yeah.
That's
the old bluegrass singer.
His name is Scabby Welts, and he sold more records in Pakistan than Slim Whitman. Hi, I'm Scabby Welts. It's great here to provide you folks with music. Music that'll make you want to scratch.
He and Boxcar Willie went out on tour together, so.
But he died of scratching himself to death.
Yeah. Scabby Welts. You remember Scabby?
Yeah.
From the good old
Order
days.
now and get a second collection from Pussy Fistula.
Oh, my God. Let's see if we can get an answer to our stupid question. Wow. I don't know who's on the phone. I don't know what they have to say. So I think our phone screener's messed up here. So
this is Guess the Caller Wednesdays, Preston. It's a new thing.
Okay. Hang on now. My phone lines aren't even lit up.
Okay.
Casey has to do what's called retake the board.
You need a gun?
No, it's a little step process where he has to hit a few buttons. And can I try it?
You can try it.
Go for
All right,
it.
let me see here.
For it.
No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. So now he's going to do
Is
this.
this because of cleaning?
Of course it is.
Oh, it is.
You touched something.
I didn't do the board.
Try now, bro.
All right. Hi. No. It shows that somebody has them on the line right now.
Did Bill West the board?
No,
Hey, Casey,
Robin did the board.
Can you talk to them through that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, Casey's going to interpret. Ask the person who's on the phone.
Hey, WMMR, who's this? John, how you doing, bro? What's your
All right.
answer, man? What's the question?
Ask John. So the angles in a triangle add up to how many degrees?
Yeah, how many degrees, bro?
Bro.
He says 180. Is that right?
John's right.
93.3 WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. I'm going to address a couple of quick questions via text. Somebody texted in and said, what was the song that Preston played on his phone? That was Danny's song by Loggins and Messina because it's John Messina's birthday today, and so we sang along to that.
Should we sing it one more time, Preston?
Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love
Kyle.
with you. Help us, everything will be the change love. Now, Marissa.
No.
In the morning. In the morning. And then the other question I'm going to isolate address is somebody texted and said, is there going to be a Christmas miracle at Parks Casino? No.
No.
We have announced it over and over. New venue. We will be in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania at the legendary, what's the name of it?
Colonial
Theater. I don't know why I couldn't
I know you were probably thinking Blob Theater.
The Colonial Theater with a blob, of course, famous the outdoor running out scene. So anyhow, save the date on that. It's coming up Wednesday, December 20th. We'll start getting invites very, very soon.
Scenic Phoenixville. When you walk out of this event, you're going to have a whole sort of rustic Christmas sort of vibe. It'll be beautiful. We're looking forward to it.
We should do our own version of the blob running out, but we'll call it the bloob.
The bloob. Yeah. Or the
Change it
boob.
up. Or the boob. Something like that. All right, listen, I wanted to pass along this story. This is very, very interesting. So that's a couple days ago. A man named Thomas Randell passed away. And just before he died, his wife of nearly 40 years asked his golfing buddies and his co-workers from the dealership where he sold cars to come by their home. They gathered to say goodbye to a guy they called one of the nicest people they'd ever known, a devoted family man. He gushed all about his daughter, a friend, to so many that the line stretched outside the funeral home a week later. Well, for the past 50 years, Thomas Randell was actually a fugitive wanted in one of the largest bank robberies in Cleveland's history.
Yeah.
Living in Boston under a new name he created 6 months after the heist in the summer of 1969. Not even his wife or daughter knew until he told them in what authorities described as a deathbed confession.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
So
That's awesome.
Isn't it though?
I mean, yeah, you would watch that movie.
Yeah.
Right?
He got away with it.
Got away with it.
Away with it, and had to tell somebody before.
Before he checked out.
All right, hang on. Before I root and cheer for this guy, did anybody get hurt?
Oh, he murdered 9 children.
Oh, then no.
No, he worked as a teller and essentially just walked out with the money.
Yeah.
And then took off. So he had figured when he worked there in 1969, he figured out that security was fairly loose at the Society National Bank in Cleveland after he started there. He told his buddies that it would be easy to rob the place. As according to Russell Metcalf, his best friend from high school, a day after his 20th birthday, that July, Conrad just walked out with $215,000 from the vault. And back in that time, it would have been, versus inflation, it would have been worth $1.6 million today. So it's a lot of money at the time. By the time the money was noticed, he was already headed across the country.
But how could they not ever find him?
Well, you can do it if you're clever about it, going off the grid. People pulled it off.
Yeah, so in a letter sent to his girlfriend at the time, he had mistakenly thought that he could return when the statute of limitations expired.
Yeah.
But once he was indicted, that
What's
was
that, like a week?
No longer true. He apparently cut off contact with his family. Some eventually presumed that he was dead.
Oh, wow.
John Elliott, a deputy U.S. Marshal, traveled across the U.S. looking for him and even retiring, would later check in on the case. And his son, Pete Elliott, who is now the top U.S. Marshal in Cleveland, inherited the hunt for Conrad nearly 20 years ago. So his father died, the FBI agent, in March 2020 before investigators pieced together details from Randell's obituary and signatures from his past. And then in November, his family, that just before he died, he told them what he had
What he didn't know,
done.
Kathy, is that he died in an arrest the wife state. So now they're going to arrest his wife.
No. So according to Metcalf, his buddy said it wasn't about the money. He always wanted to impress people. Investigators believe that he was inspired by the 1968 movie, The Thomas Crown Affair.
Yeah.
And Thomas Randell came into existence, the name, in January 1970 when Conrad applied for a Social Security number in Boston. That's when he changed his identity. It's not clear what happened to the money. They don't know. They're looking into whether he lost it early through bad investments, but he went on to, have a life. And he was like a golf pro.
And he sat on this information as of yet, and reading the article, no one knew.
Yeah, in the early days after his identity was revealed, his friends couldn't believe it. But now looking back, some things make sense. How he always had a beard, his reluctance to talk about where he grew up or his extended family.
Yeah.
He kept all that stuff a secret. Yeah, for 50 years.
But they didn't piece it together then.
No.
It's crazy because that will happen, obviously, sometimes. And you.
So here's what we wanted to do. We wanted to see if anyone found out something about a relative who had passed.
Yeah.
And not until after they died did you find out that they were this whole other person. And it doesn't have to be nefarious. It can be, just interesting. 215-263. WMMR is the number. If anybody does have, if you actually heard a deathbed confession, that I'd want to hear about too.
You'd think you'd be prompted if you had something like that, if you were checking out, right?
Terminal cancer.
Yeah.
You're on your way out.
I need to tell you something.
Maybe
I'm an Elvis impersonator.
No! You could go ahead and confess that information.
No, I was gonna say, like we've heard the stories of the, the children that people didn't know about and all that.
Second
kind of
family. Yeah.
Yep.
But like, I mean, this is like, well, because now with Ancestry and all of that, that's like, I feel like that's popping up in everyone's family. But this is like, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if it's a confession or if he just wanted the story to live on, because it's not as fun if it dies with you.
My guess
Like,
is
you
at the
kinda
moment you're going to be dancing with the Grim Reaper. I think you want, even if you want the slate clean. You want to,
Well, and think about how long he lived with that.
Yeah.
If
how
this
long
was
he had to have a beard. It's itchy.
No, but if this guy was as a great guy as they say he was, in the line wrapped around the corner at his funeral, he probably that probably weighed him down in his life, and he wanted to just get it off his chest.
Yeah, and if it's not guilt per se, Marissa, just to be able to tell somebody this secret you've been holding on to and have never been able to tell any person in your entire life.
Come closer. I wipe downwards.
Casey confessed that to us years ago, well before he was checking out. But no, it was holding on to something that big, I guess, could weigh on you after a while, whether it's guilt or not.
Yeah, because in every day, even though it's more passive and in the background, you are in effect lying to everyone in your life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you've started this new life. Preston, I think about the history of violence in America.
Yeah.
His story where he is the, he's this hitman and this murderer and this mobster.
Yeah.
He has this whole family life going on, working in this little diner.
Oh, yeah.
And it's,
History of violence, yeah.
History of violence, yeah.
Here's a text that says, found out after my grandmother, the sweetest lady, passed, was a Nazi sympathizer in World War II.
Oh, my God.
Wow. That would kind of change the perception, wouldn't it?
Hey, Grandma, what's that crazy dance you're doing? It's called the goose step.
Oh, my God. All right, let's try it. Let's take some calls. 215-263-WMMR. I'm going to go to Kara. Hi, Kara. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, what's happening, Kara?
So growing up, we never heard any information about my grandfather's father.
Okay.
And he never spoke about his father. Like, we always just heard about him being raised by his mom and his sisters.
Okay.
So, years go by, my grandfather passes away, and then my grandmother passes away, and then finally my mom and my aunt decide to tell all of us grandkids that the reason why our grandfather or anybody never spoke about his father is because he spent his time in prison for murdering his wife's lover.
So great granddad did time in the big house for murder.
Right.
And so
anytime I got into a relationship with somebody, I said, look, I have a mean jealous streak that runs in my family. I bring up the story about my great grandfather. So
to your parents,
don't mess around, there's going to be a problem.
All right, yeah. So to your parents, that was the family secret, and they had to wait until everybody who was directly connected to that died before they shared any of that information.
Exactly. Yep.
Wow,
that's pretty wild.
Yeah, and you never did you ever encounter? You never encountered him, right?
No. Like I said, my grandfather never. It's almost like he never had a father.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the big secret.
It was a huge hidden secret.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kara. Appreciate it.
I could have told that in school.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Guess whose great grandfather's in jail for murder?
Let's go to Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Jeff?
My father's cousin, older guy, had a whole second family that the kids never knew about, and they didn't discover it until they were at the funeral. And there's these kids their age, they were in their 50s at this point, but a couple of years older than them, never knew about them.
Jeff, let me ask you: how did your cousin die unexpectedly, or did he check out from a disease?
He was, in his late 70s.
All right. Question: the people that showed up that you guys didn't know, did they know about the other family?
Yes.
What?
Wow.
They knew about the other family, and apparently the wife knew. So my father's cousin's wife knew about it, but never told the kids.
Dude, I would have got the great grandfather from the other call and had him
Kill them.
go kill them.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, thanks, man.
Jesus. So I always wonder, okay, say, and the reason I asked how he died was in a car crash. So, but if you're dying of a disease or you're checking out, I think you might be inclined to say, by the way, I have another family. So because the inevitability of them all meeting at the funeral.
Yeah, but maybe you were not expecting your other family to show up at your funeral,
I didn't know you knew where I lived.
I don't know. That'd be a tough one.
Have like a big party for all your families.
And not having a big, giant secret like that, I can't even wrap my mind around whether I would be compelled to share that information or
But
not.
like,
You know what I mean?
who wins the all right? He's got two families, right? Who gets to bury him? Who's the one? Which family?
Well, there was one family, and then another one showed up.
Well,
So it was
usually
whoever Casey was his primary family.
Yeah.
Usually the parents of the bride take care of everything.
And how do you decide the primary family? Is it the family that you had first?
Listen, there's always random people crying at funerals in my family. Nobody knows. We're like, "Ooh, why is that lady so upset?
Who's that Asian woman?
God,
seriously.
all of Kathy's family's jilted lovers.
You know what, Kathy? Kathy's family shows up at the funeral party. You should bring a dartboard so both the secret family and the new family can fight over funeral costs by playing darts.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Why is she so upset? Who is she?
Who is that woman?
I never loved another man the way I loved him. Who are you?
Let's go to Gary next.
Oh, Gary!
Hi, Gary. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's
morning.
up? What's up, bud?
All right. Deathbed confession you wanted to hear, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got one for you.
All right.
My grandfather. You familiar with Mount Joy Prison in Ireland?
What's the name of the prison?
Mount Joy Prison.
No, not familiar. No.
All right. There was a prison break where the IRA had hijacked the news helicopter.
Yes.
and
Okay.
Landed it.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the helicopter, left Ireland, and lived on the run in Philadelphia. And at his funeral, it was confirmed when people with Irish accents showed up to the funeral.
Oh, my God.
So he was in, so this made the news. This is a huge story. He was on it and in that helicopter.
He was one of the three that escaped, yes.
So did other people know about this, or did he confess this as he was about to pass?
He told my mother, she kept it to herself.
Okay.
But at the funeral, when, redheads and, it was just obvious.
Dude, that is wild.
The accent.
Okay.
Yeah, familiarize yourself with the story. If you have never heard of this story, it's pretty wild.
Okay.
You were in that helicopter.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, Gary, how did the family react to that?
Well, it was very interesting at the after party, or the what do they call it, whatever you call it after the funeral, the luncheon.
Yeah. I'll bet.
Yeah,
All right. Well, thanks, Gary.
So how many of you are helicopter pilots? Raise your hand if you've ever inadvertently flown a helicopter.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's a
good
I
one.
remember that story, yeah.
Wow. All right. I have Ryan on the line next. Yo, Ryan. Good morning, bud.
Good morning.
What's happening, my man? Tell your story.
So my father, who was not very close with me or my older sister, when he died, about 3 weeks later, we started getting some letters from different people, attorneys. Found out we have 10 half brothers and sisters we didn't know about.
Oh! 10 half brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
10!
10.
And
that we know. Wait, these are the ones we know about.
wow.
Oh.
So they reached out after he died?
Yeah, they thought they were going to get some money.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Did he have any money to be given?
No, I offered it if they wanted to share his bills.
The money went to the third family.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have no idea how many siblings I have.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that is, thank you, Ryan, by the way. And that is, obviously, we've talked about that before with the DNA testing and the family genealogy on how That's popped up left and right. It happened. Our first experience with it was with Kathy.
Kathy, yeah.
The Franklin Institute.
Oh, yeah.
We did a DNA test, and
weird.
they pulled Kathy aside, and they were like,
So you
can
gotta
we talk to you about this?
You have to be careful. That's what they keep saying. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. But you know what? I contacted the two women that they saw like a pretty close connection with, and the two of us could not figure out what it was. There was one woman was in New York, and one was somewhere like South Carolina or something like that. She was a Jewish woman in South Carolina.
Wow.
Like, how are we connected? We couldn't figure it out. She was in her 70s, and then the woman in New York, that made a little more sense just because that's where my whole family is from, but we still couldn't connect it.
Kathy, did your family ever speak glowingly of John Wayne Gacy?
So if you're just tuning in, we were talking about this story of a guy who was robbed a bank, a big bank robbery in Cleveland 50 years ago, and on his deathbed confessed to his family that was what he did. He got away with it. He had changed his identity and
kept the secret, and everyone spoke glowingly of him in the neighborhood.
Yeah, apparently he was outside of that one little incident.
Yes,
he was a fairly upstanding citizen,
but his entire life was a lie.
Yeah.
How many people do you think you've ever come in contact with in your life who are actually part of the witness protection program?
I'm going to say most of them. I'm not so sure about Marissa.
You think you've ever interacted with one?
The amount of people that we have met, maybe. I don't know. What I do think about, and this is a whole different other story, is, because of the audience that we have, how many people that I have met at some point who have done something horrible in their lifetime.
I'm sure.
And I mean really bad.
If you have something to tell us, call in.
Feel free.
We can call you Gary.
We'll take your deathbed confessions now.
Now.
Ahead of time.
If you are terminal and you want to share something, 215-263 WMMR.
Or not terminal. You just want to share it.
Or you're at a terminal.
Give a
Or
different
you're
name.
at a terminal right now.
I do know a family. They were not in witness protection, but they were offered to go in, the entire family, and they would have had to have just uprooted their entire life, everything. And the reason they didn't do it was because
good school district.
No, they would have had to have left the grandmother behind. For I don't know the reason in it, but they wouldn't have been able to have contact with her.
Yeah,
and so they said no, and they kind of had to live a pretty.
You saw Goodfellas,
Scary
right?
life.
So in Goodfellas, Henry Hill is presented the option. He and his wife are presented the option of going into witness relocation, but the wife says, "No, I can't. I'm not going to cut off ties with my mother." So she did not. And that is true to what actually happened, because you have to, for it to work, you have to sever everything.
Yeah,
and then some.
That's what it was. And
remember in My Blue Heaven,
exactly.
Vinny's wife, she didn't stick around.
That's right.
She took off.
Right.
Yeah.
But Steve, they had this family, like they knew where they were going to go. They knew.
Oh, okay.
Like, they were in the works, and then the fact that they had to leave the grandmother.
That's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
Especially if they were involved with something that would warrant that.
I'm going to go to Tom. Hi, Tom. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's it going, guys?
Good, buddy. What's up, man?
All right. So when I was 10 years old, my mom's uncle, so I guess that would make him my great uncle, my parents lied to us as kids. He was gay. He passed away from HIV, AIDS. And we were too young to understand that and comprehend that. So my parents told us that he died from a cold.
A cold?
Like a really bad cold.
When you heard the news, and it's sad that anyone would have to keep that a secret at that time. It's obviously a horrible thing. I'm sure it was horrible for him, and obviously, when AIDS was raging. How did you feel when you got that? Were able to process that?
It was a little wild because I went half of my childhood very neurotic and afraid of people catching a cold.
Dying from a cold.
No
I'm gonna die.
Tom.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Question: Do you think that they lied to you because maybe they felt you were too young to understand, or were they embarrassed about the fact that he was gay?
They said it was because we were too young to understand.
Okay.
Now, obviously, when we got older, we learned about what happened, and our parents talked to us about, being protected, and this is what can happen, and these are the steps. But yeah, for a good part of my childhood development, I was terrified of people that had a cold.
That's like Kathy's mom telling her that there's bugs in the candy and stuff like that. I mean, just a flat out lie, and now you're terrified of a cold.
Listen,
it killed my uncle.
Yeah, you can't do that. We had a gay, I had a gay aunt growing up, and she gave me the best birthday presents. So yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Tom. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. How about this one? Deathbed confessionals. We'll go to Alex. Hey, Alex. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's happening, Alex?
I have a story about my great-grandfather.
Okay.
He was from Austria. He came over here, and then on his deathbed, he finally came out that he was an illegal immigrant. He was here illegally.
Okay. So
that's not so bad.
It's not so bad if his name was Mengele.
Yeah,
that could be an issue.
That'd be very bad.
Yeah, that could be a problem. But so no one knew that. Where did he come from, Alex?
Austria.
Austria. Okay. So when you said Austria, the natural, I'm going, oh, okay.
Yeah. So he once he confessed it. I mean, did anybody really think it was a big deal?
Get him out of here.
Yeah, it explained a lot.
Okay.
He never wanted to leave. My grandmother would offer to take him out of the country on stuff, cruise, and he would just be like, "No, I'm good."
No, so I can understand that.
Yeah, totally.
His last name was Von Trapp. And he didn't know. They were still looking for him.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Let me get another one here. This is Jared. Wants to talk about the witness relocation program. Hi, Jared. Good morning.
Back off, war child.
Seriously.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
I think we can do that for you.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
What's up, Jared?
So when I was 20, I was on my way home from work, and this Asian woman ran a stop sign, and I hit her. And the cops came and everything. About 10, 15 minutes later, a black SUV pulled up, went past the cops. The lady got in the SUV, and they left.
Wow.
What?
And I asked the cops, and they're like, "Oh, we don't, a family member picked her up." Like, they were just giving me a runaround. And then a couple of days later, I got a phone call from the insurance company, said that they took complete control over everything. I got a check in the mail, and for about $22,000, and that was 3 times the amount of my car was worth.
Whoa,
dude! You hit pay dirt. So if you're going to get into an accident with someone on the FBI witness relocation.
How did you find out they were involved in the witness witness protection?
So So my dad took control of most of it because, I wasn't really that smart. I was only 19. And he was talking to the insurance company and everything, and they ended up telling them that it was a government witness, and that's all they could tell us.
That is crazy.
Okay.
So the vehicle shows up. Obviously, they have, control over the situation because they got to protect this person. But, man, you were witness to something that few people see.
Yeah, like she wouldn't talk to me because, I went over to see if she was okay. And she wouldn't roll her window down. She just stayed in her car and just looked straight the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Wow.
Interesting. All right. Well, at least you got a few grand out of that.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that money, or did your dad take it all?
Oh, no. Trust me. I saw. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Very good. All right. Thanks, man.
Look at how much above Blue Book do you get for
Yeah.
for hitting an FBI witness?
Wow. Hang on a second here. Let me go to Aaron here. This will probably be our last call. Hi, Aaron. Good morning.
Hey, Ron.
Morning, guys. How we doing?
Good. What's up, man?
Good. So I got a strange story for you.
Okay. Do tell.
My grandfather passed away some years ago at age probably in his late 80s.
Okay.
My grandmother, we were getting ready to move her into a nursing home. And she was still alive, about 95, and we're going through her closets. She's telling us what to send to Goodwill, what to throw away, what to keep. So we find this shoebox that's filled with love letters from an Italian captain named Giuseppe.
Okay.
And we ask my grandmother, who's Giuseppe, and she tells us that when she was a young nurse at Fort Dix in New Jersey in World War II, apparently all the Italian prisoners of war were kept there.
Oh.
When Italy surrendered finally, the prisoners of war were allowed to just leave the prison during the day, and they had to come back at night. Well, my grandmother was holding on to this affair all during World War II while my grandfather was actually off fighting the Nazis.
So your grandfather's off fighting the Italians and the Axis powers while she's here domestically Giving him handies.
Giving him Italian handies, and going on dates with him, and going to the ice cream parlor.
Aaron, that is wild.
Wow.
And when Grandma tells this story, her eyes light up, and it was no biggie to you. It was the war. It was so long ago.
No kidding. So, but not really a deathbed confessional, but towards the end of her life,
boasting.
She felt okay to not only once you guys asked her about it, she expanded and told you all about it.
Oh yeah, and she carried on with love letters even when he returned back to Italy well into the 80s.
Aaron, did your grandfather ever find out?
No, he was long gone, and she just held on to this box, and it just moved.
Wow. Wow.
That's interesting.
That's not holding up the home front.
No. All right. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it, man.
Take care. Have a good one.
AA Ron.
Crazy.
Yeah.
AA Ron.
All right. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. It's quite interesting. Quite interesting. Some of the secrets that people may hang on to. This guy held on to the fact that he was a massive, big time robbery suspect, or not a suspect. He was a fugitive.
Guilty. He was a legitimate bank robber and held that secret for 5 decades.
Got away with it. Wow. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to get to the bizarre file in just a couple of minutes. We're also going to help you out this morning if you have people on your holiday list that like the booze.
Yes.
We're going to tell you a little bit about what you might be doing and more. We'll be back in a sec. Stay with us.
Hold the earpiece up to the microphone.
Yeah, let's see if we can hear this.
All right.
Hey, wait. I got to wait for the bells and whistles.
No, you'd have to put the other one so we could hear him.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, there you go. Hey, John, can you hear me? No, Casey, there. Jesus. Let me try this again. John, can you hear me? John, say something. Can you hear me? No, we can't hear him. Casey's actually holding the handset up to the microphone.
He was talking, John. Can you hear
I know,
him?
but we can't. The mic.
Yeah,
just barely.
By the way, I think he said his name is Ken.
Now, is this John or Ken? He did say Ken.
That's why I wasn't answering.
All right, listen, Ken. Sammy's got to go.
We gotta go. You won.
Oh, dear God. Wow.
Give him this goddamn prize.
So the answer is 180 degrees.
All right.
I think it's fixed now. Hold on. Wait. No, it's not. I just hit the button and nothing happened.
It's not.
That sucks. It's not working, Case.
Great.
We were going to play the whoosh. Oh, jeez. Nothing is working.
How do they clean the board with a hammer?
No, we use Q-tips.
Q-tips attached to hammers?
We specifically didn't hit any buttons or unplug anything.
Or you did.
Or push buttons.
You totally did.
And had lesbian love on the board.
Casey's trying to fix this so that we can hear that wonderful sound effect, but it's going to take a little while, so I'll move on.
I bet you other shows can play woot woot.
Okay, now the board just disappeared on me.
Everything's shut down.
I wonder if we're even on the air.
Are we on the air right now?
Oh, no.
Marissa, can you go into the other room and just kind of give us a thumbs up? Let us know if you can hear us on the.
I think things would sound different
The radio
in our
waves?
headphones if we
Well,
were
this is
on
the
the air.
longest emergency broadcast signal of all time.
Right. It's literally the board, which is normally lit up with all kinds of crazy blinking lights, is now dead. All right, now it came back on. All right, yep, we're good to go.
Marissa says yes.
We're still on the air. Congratulations, guys. We were talking earlier about the 3 women behind home plate at the World Series, flashing their bibbies. By the way, did that make it on national television?
Oh, yeah.
It did, yes.
Clearly. I don't care about the World Series now. So.
There was no mistaking it, and I find myself watching behind home plate a lot. I don't know why, but I get distracted by it, and then you saw this coming on, and it was one of those things where the instant reaction was, "Wait, did I just see what I think I just saw?" Yeah,
right.
Are the mooning and the pressed ham as big anymore?
I mooned somebody last week.
You did last week?
Yeah.
I
was going to press ham, but I didn't want to. It was down the hall at the other studio.
I didn't see.
Wait, our own coworkers?
Yeah.
I didn't see bare ass yesterday, but I did see a man spread his butt cheeks on the streets of Philadelphia.
What?
Why?
So we were at Steven Singer Jewelers, and we were walking over there, and somebody had pulled over to it was at right at 8th and Walnut, insanely busy there. Okay, so this person had parked his car in a non-parking spot too close to the corner. A city bus is making the turn. The car's parked where it shouldn't be, so the bus can't make the turn. The car is in the way. So the bus driver starts leaning on the horn. Well, the guy who had parked the car happened to be standing right there, and he didn't like that. And he starts flipping off the bus driver. Meanwhile, everybody else is honking their horn, going, dude, move your car, move your car. And the guy bends over, spreads his butt cheeks. I took video after it.
Did he drop trow?
No, he didn't, but he wanted to. He was pointing to his ass and spreading his butt cheeks.
Was he like, excuse me, may I ask you a few questions?
No, but he was spreading his butt cheeks and pointing to it. So it wasn't a full-on moon, and it wasn't pressed ham, but it was still very entertaining.
Yeah.
So this chick is winning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's talking about
Are you
her.
kidding me?
Yeah, done deal. Yeah, of course. But she was winning when God gave her a DNA structure that ended up working out nicely.
But this strategy has worked.
Yeah. So the thing is what do you do next? What's how do you top that?
I think you try to become a Supreme Court judge.
Maybe you do that.
All right, guys. When's the next game? Is it tonight?
Yep.
All right.
You're going to do it, Case?
Preston Steve butt plug. Behind home plate. What do you think? Do you think that'll get us some?
What do you mean?
If I put a butt plug in, moon the camera, and it says Preston.
I didn't know.
I thought this was a charity thing.
I didn't know.
Talking about promoting a charity.
All right, I'll put a can of something up there instead.
Yeah. But we
It'll be the Camp Out for Hunger.
We say butt plug all the time.
How about inserting a mag light?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going actual butt plug.
No, is it Preston Steve butt? Yeah, I guess you're. No.
Putting a full police mag light into his butt.
You know, the game sure has changed, Ralph.
It's for breast cancer.
Yeah.
You got to get to Houston tonight, Case. It's not DC, sorry.
Yeah. Houston, maybe.
Well, you see, DC would have been doable.
Right. All right. How much for a
DC was viable, but Houston seems extraordinarily difficult.
Wait, what did you say? How much for a mag light?
No. How much? I may have said that. How much? No. For behind the home plate seats.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, do you carry full-size mag lights like the police use? It's for my butt.
You check that, or you buy it when you get to Houston?
Like, you can buy that when you get to Houston.
What's that? Oh, it's for Breast Cancer Month.
Yeah. Wow.
No, I would do it for Camp Out for Hunger. I mean,
There you go.
That is the obvious.
Still abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that way, the next time we're up at the award show in Washington.
Right. Yeah. They remember they clips.
I'm Kelly Ripa, and everyone was moved to tears when Casey put a mag light in his butt.
Wow.
And said, F hunger in the butt.
Those inspiring words are now etched on marble.
That's the statement you made.
Yeah.
F hunger in the butt.
F hunger in the butt. Camp out.
Can't wait to see those signs this year.
Oh, my God.
No, you can't. It's offending.
Have your son or daughter. Camp out for hunger. Let's circle back to the royal family for just a moment. Kate Middleton and Prince William discussed marriage while they were dating in order to take the pressure off of themselves and make sure they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. In royal correspondent Katie Nichols' new book, Kate, the Future Queen, she writes, there on the Paradise Island, William promised Kate that he was in the relationship for the long term. For the very first time, they talked seriously about marriage, and with the ocean before them and beneath the night sky, they made a pact to marry.
My dearest Kate, I love you.
What island were they on, does it say?
It says the Paradise Island. I don't know if that means Paradise Island in the Bahamas or not.
They went to like a Club Med thing.
Yeah.
Limited drinks and you don't have to tip. I left my wallet at home. I can't get enough of Buster Poindexter.
They played a hot. Everywhere you go.
It's like Marley in Jamaica.
Hey.
Totally. Oh, my God. He's walking. He's got 2 drinks with the little umbrellas in his hand. Do a little sachet.
ID.
As the music's playing.
More jerk chicken, please.
The pair did split.
They call it oatmeal, but it tastes like tapioca.
The pair did split temporarily after they made that pact, but all's well that ends well. Of course, they got married in 2011. They have 3 kids, and it's a wonderful, beautiful relationship.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Speaking of beautiful relationships, Amy Schumer and Chris Fisher shocked many when they got married in a secret beach ceremony 2 years ago. But ever since, the pair have turned into couples goals for many. She posted a tribute to him, acknowledging what has changed and what hasn't since welcoming a baby together. She wrote, but before we had our little babe, it was just us. I love Chris so much. I hope whoever you are with is so kind to you and also drives you. Oh, I hope whoever you are with. Is there some of the shut up? Just improv that you have been known to, become to known as. I haven't heard that in a while.
It's been a while.
No, I hope whoever you are with.
Yes, is there some of the improv that you have been come to known as?
From Touchstone Pictures, The King's Speech 2.
Is there some of the improv that you have been come to known as?
Oh my God. Oh. I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. Pregnant Meghan Markle's sartorial choices.
Yes.
These are clothes?
Clothing, yes.
Okay, sartorial.
It's what she likes to eat at the food court.
Oh, okay. No. Frequently give fans a double take, generally for their stunning elegance. But some are wagging their fingers at the Duchess of Sussex for the skirt that she chose to wear on the final day of her royal tour of New Zealand, Fiji, and so on.
It was a full shot.
Well,
it was up above her waist.
No, it wasn't. She paired a stunning royal blue Givenchy sweater with a sheer blue pleated skirt. So there was some see-through to it.
Well, you know what? She has.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I see it. But she has had a higher than they usually like the skirts worn with members of the royal family, but nothing outlandish. Whenever she's out, but she still looks elegant.
You can see the shape of her panties.
Yes. I mean, that's a little
Does
sheer.
it matter that there are sexy photos of her on the internet to the royal family, do you think? Because, when she did Suits and she did some modeling
There's a whole
stuff,
bunch of it.
Yeah.
And Nick, she had actually just done one prior to this whole...
To meeting Prince Harry?
Yes, and it's excellent.
And the whole family received a portfolio of all of this stuff and said, here's what we're dealing with.
She's a beautiful woman.
If you need me, I'm going to be reviewing these photographs in my chamber.
How long is that going to take?
Wappa. Fwap.
That's it.
The fappening.
Wappa.
By the
That's
way,
the royal family version of fap.
Why does this all have to rest on her shoulders? Like, why doesn't she have people looking at her going, yo, dude, I can see your panties?
But she makes the final choice.
Yo, dude, I can see your panties. So the Kardashians won big as well last night. And they had a weird speech. They were trying to thank firefighters and stuff, and they actually made their win a tribute to the firefighters. And listen, see if you can hash this out. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
It's been a really rough week in our home in Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and our neighbors in Thousand Oaks and Malibu. Our hearts are broken from the horrific shootings and those who have lost their lives and homes, as well as the hundreds of thousands of us that have been evacuated from the devastating fires that are currently burning. So thank you so much to all of the people that have voted for us. This is such an honor.
Did you make that leap there? Did you make that leap?
Okay.
There's a lot of fire out there, but thank you for voting for us.
Are they dedicating the award?
It gets to that at the end, yeah.
All right.
I'd like to dedicate this win to all of the firefighters, the law enforcement, and the first responders.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
I'd like to thank the people what put out the fires.
Like, it just doesn't seem very genuine ever when it comes from them.
You can see the guys who are really, eating smoke and battling flames up. I got great great news, guys. Kardashian was dedicated to us.
Like, I get to see them sitting around. Like, when we win, we should like dedicate to somebody, so it makes us look good.
Listen, I want to tell everyone up there on the mountain, you guys are doing a great job. The Kardashians just donated their win to you on a field choice award. I just want to carry that into the fire with you.
That's the chief going on the radio to tell all the guys.
Attention, everyone. Kardashians just donated their win on the People's Choice Awards to you. So, you to go marching into those flames and that superheat and that whipped up win. No word on Little Women LA yet.
Yeah. No. So the only reason that I might consider something like that is after grooming in my intimate areas, is that the stubble sucks.
Prespo, I'm waiting. One second, honey.
You get a little itchiness for a day or two.
So what do you use?
When it freshly grows
use
back.
electric shaver?
Yeah.
That's what I use
electric
for safety,
razor.
And I like to be shorn tightly for that porn look.
You know.
I just don't find it hygienic. I don't want to have a knotted. I don't want to look like the Legend of Boggy Creek.
On 93.3 WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, brought to you this morning by the Lehigh Valley Restaurant Group. They've got holiday gifts all wrapped. Give the gift of yum with a $25 Red Robin holiday gift card and get a $5 bonus buck reward for you now through December 31st. Red Robin Yum. All right, so a tourist, this is a horrible story. Tourist has died in Mexico after her leg was bitten off in a shark attack as she swam near a popular beach with her 5-year-old child. A graphic video appears to show the victim lying on the sand after being helped out of the water at Melicu on the country's Pacific coast. Onlookers could be heard shouting she's lost her leg as they waited for emergency responders to arrive. Despite the quick response by rescuers, she died of blood loss from the massive bite wound. Her daughter escaped injury despite being beside her in the water. Local reports said she helped the child to safety by placing her on a floating play platform after becoming aware that she was in danger. The attack is said to have occurred just 65 feet from the shoreline as a swimming race was taking place. That race was subsequently suspended. Local authorities issued a warning to locals and visitors yesterday to stay out of the water following the tragedy.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it's horrible. Here's a follow-up story for you. An extreme sports athlete from Santa Barbara County was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison on Monday for intentionally crashing a small plane for a YouTube stunt and then destroying the wreckage.
You guys all remember this video, right?
Yeah.
In November 2021, authorities say Trevor Jacob took off from Lompoc City Airport in a single-engine Taylor-Craft BL-65 on a solo flight purportedly destined for Mammoth Lakes. About 30 minutes later, while flying above the Los Padres National Forest, a YouTube video titled "I Crashed My Airplane" shows Jacob saying that the plane's lone engine had failed. He jumped from the plane and recorded himself parachuting to the ground. Cameras mounted inside and outside of the aircraft showed it descending over the hills and eventually crashing into dry brush. Prosecutors say that Jacob waited 2 days to report the crash to the National Transportation Safety Board, which told him to preserve the wreckage. He stalled the investigation by telling the NTSB officials that he didn't know where the plane went down. More than 2 weeks after the crash, he and a friend flew a helicopter to the crash site and airlifted the wreckage to Santa Barbara County, where it was loaded under a trailer attached to his pickup truck. He then cut up and destroyed the airplane wreckage and over several days deposited the detached parts of the wrecked airplane into trash bins at the airport and elsewhere. He pleaded guilty in June to 1 count of destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation, and the FAA revoked his pilot's license in April of last year. So he's going to jail for 6 months for doing that.
Also, part of that video was that they had a video pointed to the windshield of the plane to show a crash. And so he made that part of the thing as well.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah. A house exploded in Arlington, Virginia yesterday as police were attempting to execute a search warrant. There is video of this, by the way.
It's unbelievable.
It's insane. Police were sent to the home around 4:45 p.m. after receiving a report about someone firing a flare gun 30 to 40 times from inside the house into the neighborhood. Police tried to contact the suspect by phone and with loudspeakers, but he didn't respond and stayed barricaded inside of the home. After getting a search warrant, police officers approached the home shortly after 8:25, so this has been a while this has been going on. He then discharged several rounds from inside the home, after which the blast occurred. And I mean the house exploded. It was not immediately clear if the rounds fired were from a flare gun or a different weapon, but the police had later said that the rounds were fired from what is believed to be a firearm. The suspect, who was not immediately identified, was inside the house at the time of the explosion. Police are not aware of anyone else inside the house, which is a duplex, so they can't rule out the possibility of others in there. His condition was not immediately known, and fire officials said they were waiting for a utility company to arrive before they could enter the remains of the structure, but I don't see how anybody gets out of that alive. The officers suffered minor injuries. 3 officers did, but none required hospitalization.
That's miraculous.
Police and fire officials could not immediately say what caused the explosion. The aftermath of the blast could be seen for several blocks. He probably just turned on the gas and was going to kill himself and take a few people out with him if he could. All right, in another explosive story, no, you know what? I'm going to skip that one because I think we have time for at least one more, and it'll tie into our next guest. So in Washington State, a winery is still cleaning up a disaster after someone broke into its facility and drained thousands of gallons of its product. Not long after employees of Sparkman Cellars left for the Thanksgiving holiday, a masked person can be seen on surveillance video walking to a side door. Sheriff's office said the suspect gained access to the winery and barrel room using an employee keypad. Cameras show the suspect making their way to the back of the facility where the wine is produced. Sparkman is one of the area's largest wineries and had just barreled all of its wine to age after a successful harvest. Moments after the suspect can be seen entering the barrel room, a gush of white wine can be seen spilling out onto of the steel tank where the wine was waiting to be bottled. Even as alarms sounded throughout the building, 2 2,500-gallon tanks of white wine unloaded onto the floor of the winery. Minutes later, the surveillance video shows the suspect exiting the building towards a wooded area with an umbrella. As they fled the scene, hundreds of thousands of gallons of wine can be seen emptying onto the floor of the facility.
So a complete act of sabotage.
Just ruined them.
Yeah.
The vandalism was discovered 2 days later when employees returned from the Thanksgiving break. Family-owned winery is scrambling to find solutions to fill orders as wineries typically get only one shot at each wine per year. There's
a tremendous amount of work that goes into that.
Sparkman is searching for a wine that it can use to replace what it lost, while also working to clean up the disastrous mess on the production floor. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to call the police department. I know.
You can go with powdered wine, I guess.
And there you go. That is what I have in the bizarre file for you. And I thought that would dovetail nicely into the next guest that we have. And if you are looking for someone who might appreciate a bottle of wine or certain spirits this holiday season, then we are going to look to our next guest for some information. She is from Fine Wine and Good Spirits, a wine specialist, Liz Tarditi. Is here with us this morning. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Preston.
No problem. Did I say that right? You're a wine specialist?
Yes, I'm a wine specialist.
But I'm sure you can dabble in other booze as well.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
do.
sure.
You take a dive into other booze when it's because you have a whole array right in front of you right here on the counter. So
We do. I brought a lot of goodies with me today.
So booze is a good go-to gift, especially if you're going to a party, something along those lines. You don't want to come empty-handed, or maybe you have somebody on your list who really appreciates some fine wine and spirits. But a lot of people go into the food and wine store and or fine wine and good spirits store, I should say, and don't know where to start, don't know what to get. It's just bottles on a shelf. I don't know where to go. Other than I might know, well, this person likes bourbon or this person likes wine. How do you like to guide people who are kind of clueless in this?
Well, myself, all of the premium stores have a wine specialist to directly help you with your purchases, but all of the staff at Fine Wine and Good Spirits is knowledgeable. We have in-house training that's very, very good. So any of the staff are very knowledgeable about the
So ask someone if you don't feel like you have to hash it out yourself.
We love helping people.
Okay.
Yeah, my store that I go to, I mean, they pretty much know me at this point, but I talk to them all the time. I ask them for suggestions, or I'll ask them about something I'm looking for, and they are really helpful. But what I was going to comment on is you're talking about holiday gifts and stuff like that. There's a lot of holiday packaging on some of the wines and the spirits and stuff like that. So that's perfect. You just pick up the holiday package and you've got a gift.
Exactly. And the box sets are great, and there's something for everyone. So
can you give us a couple of examples of that?
Great.
Okay.
So the first one for your Eagles fan, I'm going to start with that.
Why not?
Jameson and Absolute have a Go Birds Fly Eagles Fly package with a nice pint glass that has the Eagles logo on it. So everybody in Philadelphia, your Absolute and your Jameson, definitely a good thing to add to your bar, and you get the little glass, your pint glass, to keepsake with it.
Cool. So these are usually holiday exclusive, these things?
Yeah, these come out at the holidays.
Okay.
And it's the same price as the regular bottle on the shelf, but you get like a little present with it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's why I love those gift packs. It's like a little extra.
Yeah.
Wait, I've got to tell you a quick story. Marissa, hand me that candy cane. Okay, so do you guys remember I went to that cookie exchange? I ruined all my cookies and I couldn't take cookies, so I didn't want to show up empty-handed.
This is a large plastic candy cane.
You had to bring something for everyone that was going to be there. So I went to the liquor store and I got this large candy cane that's filled with fireball shots. And
Perfect.
so everyone else exchanged cookies, and then I gave everyone a fireball shot.
Oh,
That's
is
perfect.
that what it is?
Yeah, there's Fireball in there.
Wow.
Little shots
Yeah,
of fireball.
little individual bottles.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
I don't even drink it. I get that for someone. Yeah.
Right? Exactly. Honestly, it was a hit.
Kathy's
Everyone loved it.
cookies were the best.
All right, so I have a question for you. Every time I go to the liquor store and want to get a gift, I find champagne is a great gift if you're going to somebody's house or something. But I know two champagnes. I love, Vouv is my favorite go-to.
You gotta have this, what she has there.
The mom,
then.
okay.
I like it better.
Well, so I was going to say La Marca is I'm going to brunch and meeting some friends. What's a good in between? Like a good something $20 to $30. No, but if Vouv is a pricey item, so but if you go into somebody's house or you want a housewarming gift, what is that in between champagne?
I can hook you up.
Okay.
So instead of champagne, think about French, but think about cremants. Those are all of the sparkling wines that are made right outside of Champagne, from the Loire Valley, from Burgundy, from other areas. So a lot of winemakers in France all make sparkling wines, but if it doesn't come from the Champagne region, it's not Champagne.
Yeah.
So the minute...
And that's the only delineation, is it has to come, to be classified as a champagne, it has to come from that region.
The grapes must be grown in Champagne. So it's like if something was grown in Pennsylvania, you wouldn't say it came from New Jersey.
Right.
It's exactly like that. So,
but those sparkling wines that you're talking about, they're just as good as some of the champagnes.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful. And the people outside of Champagne can use other grapes. So you can get something made with a Chenin Blanc, and it can be very, very dry and crisp. And especially from the Loire Valley, it'll have notes of pear. And so there's a lot you can do in that $17, $25 range that you can get superb quality wines without the champagne price.
So for the neophyte who is going out, and to Preston's point, you go in there, you don't know, obviously you can ask for direction, but what is a good general spirit to get for someone if you're going over to the house? We're going over this last minute party. What is kind of a general, everyone's going to be happy with this kind of selection? Is there that kind of selection?
I think there is.
Yeah.
I would say usually you want to go with just spirits?
Yeah, or whatever.
Okay. I would say vodka is always very, very popular. Tequila is tequila is probably, the margarita is the number one most popular drink in bars. So you can definitely go with the tequila. And if you wanted to go high end, I have a couple that I brought with me.
All right, let's see.
So the first one I'm going to introduce is the Maestro Doble Diamante Cristalino. So what that is you've heard of Blanco and Reposado and Añejo tequila. What that is all of them are in this. It's blended different ages of aging in the barrels, and then they filter it to be a Cristalino. So it's perfectly clear, and it is silky smooth. It is like this is a sipping tequila.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't put this in the freezer. You put this in your refrigerator, and then you use like a brandy snifter glass to let the aroma.
You're not making margaritas with that one.
Oh,
you could though, yes.
You could.
Yeah, but you don't want to ruin the exquisite taste.
I see. Okay.
It's delightful.
Well, why don't you crack it open and let Kathy start?
Wait, I want to ask you a question about tequila because I had never heard this, and somebody told me this, and we kind of looked at her and we were wondering if she was correct or not. But she said when you purchase a bottle of tequila, to determine whether or not it's a good bottle is to shake it up, and if the foam remains there for like a certain amount of time, that. No, okay. I had never heard of that before.
I've never heard of that before. You do look for an oily mouthfeel, so maybe she's kind of looking to see if those oils will like create
But
bubbles.
she was saying, well, when you're in the store, shake the bottle. I'm like, I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that either.
All right, good. I'm gonna stick with
trust your reviews.
Yeah.
Trust your, trust your palate too. Trust your own taste buds. Your taste buds are not wrong. They're yours.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's definitely one where that is a sipping tequila. It's also, that is on sale right now. And I mean like sale, like $10 off a bottle.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, that is one of my favorite.
So how much is that bottle?
That's now $49. Hold on. Let me look it up. That is $47.19 now.
So as a standard, this tequila is very applicable. You want to go to somebody's house, you want to bring something that has a little bit of pizzazz to it. You grab this, and you should. The odds are strong that you should be good.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely. People will love that.
Yeah,
especially your like tequila lovers.
Okay,
when they taste something they haven't tasted before. Oh yeah.
All right,
Steve. There's also just a compliment. PA Fine Wine and the Good Spirits is they have a PA local section, which I love. So I'll sometimes walk over there and just see the different brands that are all local Pennsylvania made, and they're all sectioned off and learning about different locally produced things.
That's very cool.
Liz, I had a question. Let's say you are going to be purchasing for someone who knows their stuff. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You want a very specific bottle. You guys may not carry it in-house. It may be a little bit exotic. Can you guys order things if need be?
Yes,
Okay.
we have our website, and obviously on the internet is going to be able to hold way more items than a brick and mortar store, any brick and mortar store. So definitely go to our website. It's fwgs.com. And you can find products there. You can also register to be in the lottery for those high-end bourbons.
Right. We've heard about that. Yes, yeah.
You can also find wine futures there. So if you want those really, amazing bottles from Burgundy and Bordeaux, you can buy wine futures on Fine Wine.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, and we got to wrap here shortly, but you wanted to tell me about this bottle of bourbon that you brought in, this Jefferson's.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's over here.
Yeah, where did it go?
There we go. Moved.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is the Jefferson's Marion McLean bourbon. The backstory is Marion McLean was the 8th generation grandmother of the founders of Jefferson's. And this is a blend of 5 different bourbons, each aged at different levels. And it comes with a little book in like a little leather container there that tells you all about the 5 different bourbons and their flavor profiles. And then it just makes an exquisite ultra blended bourbon.
That's cool.
Then, well, thank you for bringing me that bottle. I appreciate it. Oh, it's a prop. It's a man. Well, I'll be definitely headed Fine Wine and Good Spirits. I love going in and shopping around. It's you guys have such great selection. So I will be in there this holiday season for not only me, but other people on my list as well.
And security protected gift cards, right?
Can we say that?
Yes.
Okay. I was listening to you on my drive in. And so, yes, our gift cards have a security feature on the back that they scratch off when you redeem them, so nobody can copy these.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great.
And,
There you go.
And please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Of course. That's why Uber was invented. So, yeah, get the gift cards. The website again, please, Liz.
FWGS.com.
FWGS.com. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday season. We appreciate it, Liz.
Thank you.
Liz Tarditi from Fine Wine and Good Spirits. We are going to take a break. We are going to come back in just a moment. We got other guests joining us. Who will they be? Stick around. I'll tell you in a minute. I only do it like every couple months. Just like, oh yeah, it's getting a little long. So
I mean, I do 100 brushes every night.
Oh, gross.
One second, like, I'm like Marsha Brady with her hair pressed.
and the stubble's a bitch, but
in the mirror.
That's the only thing I might consider.
So
why I would consider something.
Press, you get your dogs groomed?
Yeah, we do.
All right. So do you have boy dogs?
Do you let them do your crotch?
Well, because I have 2 male dogs, and they have to like shave their peens and their heinies.
Yeah.
Which I've like.
Did you ask if I avoid the dogs?
No.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, I was going to say.
You get thrown off by the peens and heinies.
Do you have a boy or a girl?
We
or
did
both?
the nails, the teeth, and the peens and heinies.
That's the name of the place, Peens and Heinies.
Peens and Heinies.
Have you guys been at some? Dude, it's called Peens and Heinies.
Come on in.
By the way, I heard Casey on the phone with his groomer the other day, and he was like, so I've been told when I bring my dog back that he's not too calm and that we need some extra help.
I had to get
a big dog.
I had to go and get sedatives for him. I had to go to the vet.
Poor thing.
Dude. And what's crazy about this, and Steve, you can probably attest to this, is that dog is the dog that I want to introduce to strangers because he's so loving and nice and all that stuff. And the other one,
check out that peen.
But the other dog, who will like literally tear a stranger to shreds, is fine at the groomer, right? Like it's like they change personalities when they get. And my cats were the same way at the vet.
I use the service that comes to the house.
Yeah, I should probably have that.
The same lady?
It's Avery.
Yeah, I used her. She was good.
Avery's is great, and they show up, and so the whole deal is they get used to going out of the house, right up, step up into the van, which is parked right by your house, right there, and they get it done because otherwise I don't want to have them have a full-blown seizure. And, man, the peen and hiney is great. My dog is peenless, so it's just hiney.
Yeah.
My female.
Yeah, but so somebody was also telling me that a way to sort of combat that, because it's the hair dryer, is to, like, when he's eating, run a hair dryer next to him while he's eating so he doesn't. I know. He's going to never eat again.
Is this the big dog?
This is the big dog.
Yeah. What's the big dog's name?
Reggie.
Reggie.
Yeah.
The dog's huge. Dog is huge and thinks it's a lap dog.
That's the black and white one?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually not that big. I mean, he's only 74 pounds. Like, he looks bigger because of his fur.
Preston, you have Yorkies. That's a huge difference.
They're the doodle variety, so they get really hairy. So you have to groom them.
Doodle peen.
Yeah.
Doodle Peen. That was a kid show, wasn't it? Doodle Peen?
Hi, I'm Doodle Peen. On today's adventure, we teach you how to shave your ass. Shave it real good. Doodle Peen. Showing you how to groom your genitals.
Doodle peen, I have an issue right behind my testicles.
Well, it's easy. Use fly strips.
And now another adventure with Doodle Peen.
Man, it can get awful smelly down there.
Oh, my God.
Like a filthy whore.
Hey, we're going to wrap this up. We got to start
wrap it up.
We got to
Hey,
start on
kids,
the road.
tune in next week for another episode of Doodle Peen.
All right. With that, we're going to take a break. Kylie Jenner has been hanging out with Drake.
Oh, great.
This
a month after her split from Travis
This
Scott.
story keeps coming back. Do you think there's something going on between them, or do you care? I'll give you both questions.
Well, I don't care, but most of these stories or most of the comments from quote-unquote sources say that they're just friends. They've known each other for a long time.
I'll tell you what, we talk about the surgical enhancements, and we talk about, the people who overdo it. Whoever, I mean, if you look at Kylie, she's an attractive woman.
Yeah.
And besides the lips, there's she's had a ton of other work done, but nothing where you see all the lines and zippers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's almost like I get mad because it's like you're a billionaire because of what you look like. And that's not what you look like. It's, like A-Rod, is he going to get into the Hall of Fame for baseball because you were juiced up half of your career? So it's almost like your numbers are tainted.
Well, the most clear aspect of the whole hypocrisy of this thing is that what got her over the threshold, what started the Kylie Jenner empire, was the Kylie lip kit, and her lips were surgically enhanced.
Yep. I say to you, Greg.
But
Is it an indictment of the country?
I'm wearing Kylie lip today.
Oh, I hate you.
I know.
Why?
That actually
I did,
looks
remember,
good.
I told you I bought it. Yeah.
I know.
I got it at Ulta. I tried one color, and I like it. It's pretty good.
You're giving her money.
I want my lips to look good. All right,
Doesn't
get
even
off
look
my back.
Doesn't look like you're wearing anything.
That's
like natural
Kylie
color.
genius.
That's what it is. That's what I got. I got
mean,
neutral color.
she is
It's like the Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah.
It's like doesn't even. All right, anyway, got it.
without all of the surgical enhancements. She's still an attract. She's East Delco hot,
She's
right?
cute. Yeah. East Delco hot.
Yeah.
I think she's just Delco hot.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, she's not Radnor hot.
I see your point.
All right.
Emmy-winning SNL actress Kate McKinnon is set to headline a new series on UCP.
The hell is that? I
don't know.
Is it the Paramount Network? Is that Up?
The series, it's Up.
You guys watch Up?
The series
tonight on Up.
Is it what the hell?
Where's that sound coming from?
Where's that sound coming from?
You know what it is? It's
What?
we said series and it lit up Siri on my phone. Where's that sound coming from? I can't yell that loud right now. My throat hurts too much.
What the? Well, we have everything you need. Just tell me what you need, and I'll hit it.
All right. Well, how about there's nothing on here.
There's nothing on here.
Thank you. So
Universal Content Productions. It's a couple. It's a division.
We here at
Couple. There we go.
This is a sister station.
Couple.
Couple.
Yeah, Cup is a sister station of
Couple.
And its sister station. Couple.
Cup. Yeah, a couple. Couple. We done?
No.
Okay,
Just
keep
give
going.
it a minute. Give it a minute.
Couple. Have fun.
And instead of instead of the CNN,
Yeah. Couple.
This is
CNN.
Couple.
This
Couple.
is
Do that, Fred.
By the way, Shake Shack,
Yep.
love their burgers, but I might as well eat them while I'm sitting on the toilet because that's how quickly they go through me.
just for some particular reason.
Yeah.
There is
Do you get the special sauce?
Dude, so
He makes the special sauce.
I literally ate it one time, and I was driving home. I ate it by Helium. There's one right there.
Oh, no.
And I ate it,
Oh no.
and I had to race. Oh my God! I'm trying to get home. I was trying to get home, and it was late. It was probably like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was
I can make it.
And by the time I got to about Route 1 on 76, I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it. So let me get to the radio station. Quick.
Oh.
Stat, right?
Yeah.
Got to the radio station. Couldn't make it to the fourth floor. I had to dump by it outside next to the...
Dude, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you take a dump
You crapped outside of the building?
I had to.
How long ago was this?
this morning?
God.
Kathy,
I
it was
just-
either that or in my pants. What do I do?
Sometimes I don't know.
Right? So I had to do it next to the...
Couldn't you at least pick a competing station?
Yeah. Well, no,
I mean,
because
and also just so open to tell the story. It's amazing.
Oh, not right away. I had to wait a couple of years before the security footage was deleted, you know?
Hey,
Hey, Gav!
More FM's right over there.
Right.
What,
Q102 is right down the street.
Q102's down the street. You crap there.
oh my God.
The story does get a little bit better.
Funny.
How?
How could it?
But could you have imagined had he been stopped at another radio station simply because it was an emergency?
Yes.
Right.
Local broadcaster in a clear attempt.
Like a superintendent of a school.
Right, exactly.
Right?
He would have been raised to heroic levels here.
Now, how does the story get better?
Oh, man. I think I'm just going to end it there.
Well, no. You started.
Say it quietly so we can't hear.
All right, I'll just whisper it.
They're not listening.
So,
Yeah.
So I had to
smeared it on someone's car.
I had to leave it there in the grass.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it with me.
Right.
Oh, you didn't want to take it with you?
No. I couldn't. So it
When you
ended
take
up.
your dog for a walk.
So,
I left it there.
all right. So a little bit did end up in my underpants. So I had
that was just like a bingo.
So I had to luckily I had nobody can hear this, right?
Right,
All
no, good.
So luckily I had all these t-shirts in the back of my car.
Did you fashion a makeshift underwear?
I literally wore a pink t-shirt as underwear on the drive home. Oh no, it gets better. Okay, so then I'm on my way home and I'm thinking, dude, there is like t-shirts and poop and all this stuff next to the building. All right, so I can't. Like if security goes and they see that on Monday, they're gonna, well, who pooped here?
And look at.
They're going to look at security and they're going to see me like all ashamed, crouching next to my car. So on Monday, I came back to work with a giant trash bag and I had to like collect it all.
Oh my God.
And then throw it in the dumpster.
So he cleaned his spot.
Yeah, I cleaned my spot.
hate you.
I hate me too, Kathy. When I got home.
And this was all because of what?
Freaking Shake
Guys.
Shack.
Oh, Shake Shack.
No, not Five Guys. Don't you talk
They're
bad about-
fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Where in the building was it?
On the over at the loading docks.
Where you unloaded.
Yeah,
Wait, and
I
I'm
had to go. What's that?
Why didn't you come inside?
He couldn't get in.
I couldn't make it. I do, believe me. I'm not.
don't.
This is not a proud moment here, Kathy.
Yeah.
Though you would assume it could have been a moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you came back, and that's noble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't necessarily noble. It was self-preservation.
The last thing you wanted is that footage to end up. But what's worse, the footage of doing it or the footage of you collecting it back up in the bag?
They watched both and they were like, okay, well, he came back and cleaned it.
We'll erase this.
All right, so you should eat your hamburger upside down.
Traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm going to do a little plug-a-rooney here, a little butt plug, if you will. Yeah, and this email is from our own former intern, Ben. And Ben writes, hey, Presbo, Gadzooks.
As you can imagine. I have a little bit of information. Dearest Presbo, as you can imagine, my life is very busy these days. But I have some events coming up that I'd like you to promote for me if you wouldn't mind.
By the way, he is a media specialist at All Fill Inc. That's where he works. And he said that the workers in our fabrication, assembly, and QC shop are big fans of the show. And we're excited to find out that intern Ben is working with them now.
He's great.
But he said this. He said he wanted to plug an event that I'm helping out with that I think Steve will be interested in. This year I joined the Chelton Hills Model Railroad Club in Elkins Park.
Yes, I am interested in that there thing.
We'll be having an open house December 9th and the 10th from noon to 4 at our clubhouse at 8010 Old York Road in Elkins Park. Our club is the former Oggins train station. We are a short walk from the Elkins Park SEPTA station.
Is that Ogons?
Ogons, gotcha. Never been to Ogons. Admission is free, but donations are always appreciated. And this weekend we'll be running Amtrak trains, SEPTA trains, our Holiday Express, and some Thomas trains too. And we'll also be having open house on January 13th and 14th and February 3rd and 4th. So we wanted to pass that along.
Very nice.
It's a free event, but you can make a donation if you like. So,
Okay, very cool.
Intern Ben, as you can imagine, will be there for that whole thing.
As you can imagine.
Thank you. Good, move on. So we have that. All right, I have some stories that don't fit together, so I think it's time to go into the stream of consciousness.
Stream of consciousness.
So there is a technological revolution that's happening.
I can feel it.
This is according to the Los Angeles Times, and, there's AI and other things like that, but now bowling alleys across America are ditching traditional pin setters, the machines that sweep away and reset the pins.
Really?
And they are starting to be replaced in favor of contraptions that employ strings.
Strings?
That's like candlestick bowling almost.
It is. The smaller bowling lanes, you know how that works, where they're held up by essentially nylon cords. Well, some of the regular traditional bowling alleys are considering this. If you don't know what this is, think of the pins as marionettes with nylon cords attached to their heads. Those that fall are lifted out of the way and then lowered back into place after each frame. European bowling alleys have used string pin setters for decades because they require less energy and maintenance.
Yeah.
And
when you hit one pin, it swings away and then knocks the other ones over, right?
No. Does not do
like
that.
Skittle Bowl.
No. All you need is someone at the front counter to run back when the strings tangle, according to this. So string pin setters mean big savings, maybe salvation for an industry losing customers to videos and video games and other forms of entertainment. And that's why the U.S. Bowling Congress recently certified them for tournaments and league play.
Well, there you go.
But there is delicate science at play here. Radius of gyration, coefficient of restitution, and other obscure forces cause tethered pins to fly around differently than their free fall counterparts.
I agree.
They don't even make the same noise.
Had not thought about that
Faced
because when it's attached from the top, it loses different aspects of spinning and all that.
Faced with growing pushback, the Bowling Congress published new research this month claiming the disparity isn't nearly as great as people think.
Yeah, but there's still disparity. So I just know for me personally, if anything impedes, the trajectory of the ball and the pins falling down, that would kind of piss me off a little bit. But I do understand, if you're going to have a bowling alley, you need to have somebody on maintenance, for the entire time.
Because the machines always jam up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I wonder what the ratio, you said, Preston, the ratio, the amount of times that these things get tangled up is less than the machines jamming up. That's what they found?
I don't know if I said that or not. They just said
Could you say that for me?
They just said it was nominal.
Oh, okay.
It's not as bad as you might think it is. Using a giant mechanical arm powered by hydraulics and air pressure, they rolled thousands of test balls from every angle with various speeds and spins on string-equipped lanes, according to the article. They found a configuration that resulted in 7.1% fewer strikes and about 10 pins fewer per game as compared to bowling with traditional pin setters. That's a lot, though, I think. Yeah. Officials subsequently enlisted 500 human bowlers for more testing and this time reported finding no statistically significant difference. But hundreds of test participants commented that bowling on the strings felt off. The pins seemed less active, they said.
Yeah.
There were occasional spares whereby one pin toppled another without making contact simply by crossing strings. Yeah. Nothing could be done about the muted sound. They said it's like hearing a drum roll, the ball charging down the lane with no crashing cymbal at the end. Still, what was that?
That was the pins getting
That was
it.
the pins.
Still, one Northern California bowling alley spent $1 million to install the technology and believes that it will save them money, partly by cutting their electric bill in half.
I don't know. To me, just as a novice, and I really do enjoy bowling, and for a while I was trying to get into it a bit before I effed up my wrist. And it seems like there is a certain aspect to the freestanding pins that this is going to inherently minimize.
They said we had a full-time mechanic and we're spending up to $3,000 a month on parts, so it saves them that.
You guys know I hate a lot of things. Bowling is on that list.
Really?
Yes.
I'm surprised. You seem like you'd be hanging out with the bowling gang.
Well, you know what? And I think it's not the sport of bowling. It's not
It's the shirts.
It's sticking
not
your
the
fingers in
activity.
dirty balls.
No, it's not the activity. I don't mind that. It's the bowling alley.
Oh.
For whatever reason, it's like a casino. It's dark. It's dingy. I just think of
Where
those.
the hell are you going?
Have you ever? Most of them are like that.
I know what
Even
you're
the
talking
newer
about.
ones are like, no thanks.
No, I know what you're talking about. The carpet's dirty.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Kathy
about.
and the Big Lebowski there.
Yeah, but and honestly, the seats around the lanes are all basically from the 1970s. I feel like I'm in the Jetsons or something.
Yeah, they're not comfortable at all. They're slick. You can slide out of them.
I don't care though. I love it. There's just something for me that's charming about it, and it was just part of my childhood.
You don't like the guy with the glass eye behind the shoe counter?
I don't mind that guy at all. But I was just at a bowling alley last week. I actually had to have a basketball coaches meeting and a conference room at the bowling alley on a random Tuesday night, and it was packed, this place. I mean, it was league night, but still, I wonder how profitable, and that was at McDade Bowl, and I hadn't been to McDade Bowl in a little while, but I wonder how profitable, even on league nights, a bowling alley can be.
Right. On regular, there used to be the one up in that we went to. We had a party at it. It was
that's small.
Lucky Strike?
Yeah, it's
no,
no longer.
the one here in Roxborough.
Right, it's gone. It's now a condo building. But it was, unless it was any sort of league activity, it was.
Oh, I remember the bowling alley we used to go to had 80 lanes.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
And you go to a league night,
absolutely huge.
They're all every single lane is taken up.
Yeah.
And that's just on a random Tuesday night.
God, we used to go to Rock and Roll every Friday night. I loved that.
Love
it was so much fun, and it was till 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And the booze was cheap, and they would play music, and they had specials where if a glow in the dark pin came up as the head pin,
yes,
you tell them, and if you got a strike, you get a free game. And we used to go, and this was when we were 21, 22 years old, and just get plowed, just get shellacked, ripped, schnockered, just ate up,
blown out.
Totally, it was so much fun.
Ours was Wynwood Lanes.
Yeah.
In Wynwood.
I
And
love Wynwood Lanes.
I mean, we would all just go out to the car for 20 minutes and then come back in groups.
Uh-huh.
Well, because there was
Orgies?
yes, exactly, Steve. No, because there was 200 teens there, and they were doing their best to monitor everything, but everyone just got dropped off or drove over there.
But Casey, you mentioned that candlestick bowling. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun
I've
too.
never played it.
Man, you can put
Arnold has it,
you
doesn't
can
it,
put
or-
so much action on those balls. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like a skee ball.
Yeah.
It fits in your hand. You can just spin the living crap out of it. It's a blast.
I was watching.
If I were able to have a sizable piece of entertainment in my house, I would get one of those in a heartbeat. It would be so much
I
fun.
watched a show with the guy who has one in his house. He extended it just a bit more. He felt it was a little bit too short.
Yeah.
They were a blast.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yep. The article also remembers that once upon a time, bowling alleys reset their pins using pin boys, remember, actual humans. And is this what you're talking about, Casey?
That's similar.
That's candle pin bowling. That's a little different. So the one I'm talking about,
They have it at Arnold's.
they're regular shaped pins. They're not thin and skinny like that. We
Right.
were just watching
And
a
they're
video.
up by strings.
Yeah,
and
they're
it's
held
a
by
smaller lane and
so much fun. So anyway, but yeah, they used to actually use people that would reset the pins before they had the
Before
machines.
the pins, people would stand there and you'd bowl them down, which
No, you
was
wouldn't bowl them
considered
down.
so aggressive.
No, they would sit on a
Small children would stand in a row.
They would sit on a bench, and the ball would come in and scoot underneath their.
These young lads are human bowling pins. Brain damage? You betcha.
All right, anyhow, they were replaced by machines after World War II back in the day. So, Case, I thought you would find that interesting. All right, stream. Let's. Stream of consciousness.
There's Harvey Korman.
Listener. Amazon has banned the sale of a product called Flipper Zero. It's a gadget. It's a handheld device designed to hack into digital frequencies such as radio waves and TV signals.
This thing is kind of a nightmare. I was reading about what it can do.
Came out in 2020, and it took off this year as it fueled a TikTok prank wave. The online retail giant decided to ban the product after it became clear its hacking abilities are also to be used to clone credit card information, breaking the company's rules on credit card skimming. Social media has become flooded with pranksters switching off restaurants' screens, opening card-locked doors, and meddling with vehicles as well.
Yeah, Casey, you can go up to it like a protected pad door on a security door.
Yeah.
And you can get right in. What? Yeah, it'll catch the signal, it will replicate it, and then you can turn it on and off.
The Flipper Zero was retailing $169. It's not solely designed for tricking unsuspecting victims, and its use will remind some of the retro Tamagotchi games. So users play with a digital pet dolphin that they would feed by hacking into frequencies, which is done through an electronic multi-tool that can hack into a feed at the click of a button. Students have been seen using it to disrupt classes by turning off smart boards and annoying their friends by shutting down screens when they're live on video games.
Yeah. It's kind of effed up.
Yeah.
Especially getting around car security systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what it can do is it can replicate your fob. This has always been the long legendary way of amplifying a key fob signal.
Right.
That's why I keep my keys, my car keys, in a Faraday box inside the house.
Right.
To protect the signal. But something like this would exploit that.
So it says here that it would mainly work on older cars, Steve, not on the more current ones.
Really?
Yeah, it says limited. Most modern cards have a rolling encryption scheme that replaces the wave used to unlock a car with each click that is not overridden by the Flipper Zero.
Well, good. Glad to hear that.
Older cars, they may be more vulnerable. The tool has a similarly contemptible option for financial frauds, as it is able to scan and remember credit card information, including through your phone, through your smartphone.
Years ago, when they would clone cell phones signals, there was a point on the what was it? The Bell Parkway, Kathy, just before you were getting towards the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah.
Where they would sit up they had apartments. They would actually rent apartments because so much traffic was coming through so close to the buildings that they would sit there and clone the cell phone signals of cars passing by remotely.
Wow.
So this thing's called the Flipper Zero, but you can't get it anymore. They're not going to sell it on Amazon. You can probably find it somewhere else in some secondary market.
F you, Flipper Zero.
Yeah, so kind of a weird little thing. Thought that was worth passing along. Okay, how about something else?
The stream of consciousness.
Ner. A new bill expected to pass in New York City will introduce noise cameras to detect loud vehicles. Proposed by Councilman Keith Powers, the cameras would activate if a vehicle reaches at least 85 decibels from 50 feet away.
I'm down with this.
Capturing the license plates for ticketing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Do you have a consistent loud vehicle in your neighborhood that goes by at inappropriate times of the day and night?
Not in my neighborhood.
In the
no.
day, it's fine.
No, I don't in my neighborhood, but I have been, been at outdoor, wherever, in a public area, and somebody goes by with an insanely loud, tuned up.
Like crazy loud.
Exhaust. And you're like, dude, that hurts my ears. That's painful to hear.
There's a guy who runs we have a conduit street in front of the house, and every other night, maybe around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And, it was super loud. And I'm sure if I were to mention the time that it occurs to anyone on the block, they'd say, oh, yeah, we hear that.
Can you call the police about that?
I never have, no.
Okay.
I prefer to get a high-powered sniper rifle.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get the car with the really loud music at about 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, do you?
It's not the car. It's just
Is
the
it
music.
Rockstar Rob?
No, they are playing. It's not salsa, but it's some sort of Latin music. So
Oh, really?
I don't
Kinda
hate
like
it.
Okay. According to the New York Post, the move aims to address rising noise complaints with at least 5 cameras planned in each borough by September 2025. Fines for violators range from $800 for the first offense to $2,600 for the third. Wow.
You've been there where when a car passes and you have to ask the question, if it's this goddamn loud out here, what's it like in there?
Yeah, agreed.
How can it possibly be remotely pleasant? So, which then begs the question, why are you listening to it that loud?
I just want to follow.
It's all
these
for
people-
show?
I want to follow these people around and just yell and scream and shout as I'm like following behind them and walking in the mall. Like if you want to bother everybody else, then I'm going to make sure your life is a miserable existence.
It's for show, first of all.
Yeah.
And then, Steve, it's not as loud inside. So you've got it's coming out the exhaust. It's pointed away from you. I have a feature on my car that I can make it louder if I want to.
Right.
And I can, and when I have done that, which I definitely wouldn't do in like residential areas and stuff like that, I can hear that it's louder, but it's not as loud as it would be.
No, I know the
outside.
exhaust. I'm talking about the music.
Oh, you're talking about music?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was talking about exhaust.
Right.
That's what pisses me off.
Oh, okay.
Is that exhaust? Is that what you're talking
I think
about?
it's anything. It's 85
Anything that's loud.
decibels from 50 feet away.
Because I had a friend who had a Mustang, and it was probably like one of the 2010 to 13, 14 Mustang, and it was loud inside. It was really, really. It was loud outside, and
The
it was-
exhaust?
Yeah, but
So a lot of the newer cars,
or
you-
the
you-
engine. I don't necessarily think I was listening to the exhaust when I was in the car, but when I was in the car, I was like, this is uncomfortably
Ridiculously loud.
Yeah.
A lot of motorcycles are that way too.
Yeah. Other bills include mandating online publication of noise inspection results and capping profits for citizen noise complaints at $10. So they're working on some noise issues, which you can imagine New York City's got quite a bit, as you can imagine.
Because the
Quite a
big
bit.
issue when it comes to noise, the various cities and the metropolitan places where vehicles often pass by your home late at night.
It's for goddamn ridiculous.
It's for goddamn ridiculous.
Are you guys more okay with loud motorcycles than you are with the cars? Because the motorcycles, that's so people can hear you coming. So it keeps them.
You can hear
safer.
me coming. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of times when I hear it, it appears to me as if they are putting on a show and attempting to be disruptive.
I have never heard that it's so people can hear you coming.
Yeah, I had heard that it keeps them safe. It keeps them safer because you
dude,
can
there
hear.
are some of those Harleys that are obnoxiously
You
loud.
also didn't agree with the Kelly Clarkson being a new song, so can you just take
All I'm saying
another
is
L
because
in
there's
this one?
motorcycles that they have to do that. They have to make that.
No, I
noise.
know
They
that.
can drive it normally.
All right, hang on. Motorcycles are so loud because of the size of the muffler most of them have, the length of the exhaust pipes, and the lack of resistance time that the air and exhaust have to slow down, and because the engine is open to air and atmosphere with no engine compartment encasing and stifling the sound. So they just can't muffle it very well, I guess.
Yeah, but that doesn't it doesn't answer the question. Why do people do that? And
Why do they make it louder on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
To be a-holes?
Well, no, maybe they
To
are
announce
doing
their
it
presence?
so people are, but that's not. I don't think that motorcycles
People
are
are-
typically made for that reason. No,
People are agreeing with Casey.
Thank you. Take another L, Kath.
I don't believe it.
People are texting in the phrase loud pipe.
Here, guys.
Yeah, you best bet. I will say this: when you're the only person on a stretch of road at 3:30 in the morning, you can you tamp it down a bit? I guess you can't, right?
Stop it. No, I think motorcycles don't have to make that noise, right?
Well,
Am I
a
wrong
loud
about that?
motorcycle is going to be loud.
It depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like the really big those things. I have a feeling that they're probably made to be louder for a
That's
reason because it's
idling.
appealing to them. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Where's our resident Hell's Angel, Bill Weston?
I know. We should ask him.
I like to be loud.
He's not loud at all.
No, I don't hear a goddamn thing.
He scared Nick the other day. He was so loud.
I heard that went well.
Boom, loud.
I don't know. We're playing his music. Usually he comes dancing in here by now.
Dancing.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la.
I'm retiring in a few weeks. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm going to ride my bike into the station.
Let me go to Ra. Yo, Ra, what's up, man?
Hey, my bitch's name is Jorge.
Yeah. That's from the other day. What's up, my man?
Yo, my sister she rides a motorcycle. I have an older sister who's like a biker chick, right? She went to go get a new bike, and the dude asked her, "Do you want us to put the neighbor haters on it?"
The
Neighbor haters. So there is a
There
choice.
is a muffler or whatever. It's not a muffler. They shouldn't even call it a muffler because it doesn't muffle anything. But there's on the exhaust pipe, there's something called a neighbor hater. It's on purpose, yo.
Make it louder.
All right.
I want to kick people in the face when they drive past me like that.
I hear you.
You know?
It's loud.
She
Well,
didn't get it because she's a beautiful person. She didn't get it.
Yeah.
She told me that that's what they were. I was like, what?
but Ra, if they're riding around and it's during any time a noise ordinance could be issued, that's when I think this becomes an issue. But I mean, if someone's driving around during the day, you may not like it, but that's fine. So, but I do get something that loud. The neighbor hater at 2:30 in the morning in a residential area is a quality of life issue.
And it's a cacophonous situation, especially when you're like South Street, not South Street, South Philly, where the buildings are like everything's bouncing off the buildings and whatnot, or any place that has a lot of close buildings. That stuff is bouncing all over the place, man, and they know.
Yeah.
And at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
they know.
I'm usually working in my meth lab. I need to concentrate.
Yeah. Makes me want to get a clothesline and
Clothesline the guy. Yeah.
All right.
with their heads.
All right, Ra. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bud.
I
See
got
ya.
a ride home on a motorcycle once, and my sister-in-law, we each were on a different bike, and the guys said, they go, do you want us to let your neighbors know that you're coming home? We were like, no, don't do that. It was, probably 2:30 in the morning or something like that. We were like, no, please
Were
don't.
you dating at the time?
No, what do you mean?
No, I'm saying, did you go home with motorcycle guys?
Oh, no. They just gave us a ride home. No.
Okay.
No, they walked into the bar. I looked at my sister-in-law. I said, "That's how we're getting home tonight." Listen, it was in my party
right.
gate. She goes,
Yeah.
"Okay, no problem."
Yeah.
And sure enough, we ended up on the back of the motorcycles.
Oh, my God. Here's a text.
My name is Snake.
Here's a text says, "Are you two seriously crying on air about loud pipes? Pathetic.
Oh wait, you guys are crying? I didn't see your tears. I didn't see who was crying.
No, the dude who texted in, you know. You know it's annoying.
Yeah. It is.
You do know that.
Yeah.
It's and so
if they call them neighbor haters,
yeah,
that's that's obviously what it's meant to be.
Yeah. So just because you like it doesn't mean everyone else has to like it. In
But
fact, some
you
people,
have now made that decision for everybody around you.
Of course, that's what D-bags do. Hang on, I'm going to go to Adam. Hey, Adam. Good morning.
Good morning, it.
Good morning to see you, Adam. What's up, buddy?
So Kathy asked if that was just the way that bikes come. They actually have to pass certain EPA standards of being very quiet because the EPA regulates the noise that machines can make out of cars or motorcycles. So they are definitely added on purpose by the owner. And I will say, as a longtime motorcycle rider, it is because they sound cool, and it does a little bit help with traffic awareness. People do hear you more, and it makes you more, visible by ear to your neighboring car.
Yeah, that's
Adam,
what I
could you
thought. It's added. It's after
Right.
factory.
Instead of a neighbor hater, could you install a yoo-hooer? Like a
That would be great.
right?
The whistles go you.
Yeah. You're pulling up. You're pagan pulling up to an intersection. Yeah.
The overwhelming majority of times when I actually hear a motorcycle is after it's gone past me. You know what I mean? Then it's loud and clear. And I'm talking about like highway driving. Because you'll hear that all of a sudden it goes right by
The
you. You're like,
Doppler effect.
Holy God, that was...
I would say it more comes into play when you're actually in traffic, at traffic lights and slower speeds, and people start moving lanes randomly. They might be a little bit not aware that you're there, and then if you kind of crack the throttle a couple times, then it kind of wakes them up.
I almost cut a guy off the other day because, let's face it, and you know this, Adam, you can't, it is so hard to see motorcycles in the daytime when there's no light, or when there's no light coming from the vehicle. And I cut this dude off, and I could have knocked him off his bike, and I just looked at him, and I full on apologized, and I pointed to my eyes. I'm like, I did not see you.
You have beautiful eyes.
No. And I'm serious. And I'm gesturing to this guy because I felt really bad.
Right.
Because I could have killed him.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't see him, and I wanted him to know that, dude, I was not cutting you off on purpose.
Right.
I didn't not look in my mirrors. I did not see you. They're smaller.
Yeah.
They're obscured easier by blind spots that are already on your car.
Yeah.
And, dude, they call them donor cycles for a reason, I mean, it's I'm not saying don't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's tough as a driver too. When I've had that happen, it scared the living hell out of me.
I've loved riding
Adam.
motorcycles, but I always fear for that condition. I don't trust people in cars, much less, the motorcycle situation. But is the headlight, the lamp of a motorcycle always on day or night?
Day or night, yes.
Yeah.
I never put mentally, I never made
just
that
so it's
assessment.
easier
Yeah.
visibly, but
Are most cars like that now too?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
that
I mean, if
lights
you have
are on all the time.
Yeah.
They're like running lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyhow, Case, I never thought about that. The fact that a louder exhaust on a motorcycle is to help for awareness.
When you would pull into town on your Vespa, would they think trouble had come?
Why don't they make those things loud?
Yeah, no, I mean they do. And Steve, you would see women grabbing their children and running
Get
into
inside.
the houses. Yeah.
One of those Vesper boys is here.
Vesper.
Vespers on their motorcycles.
Well, anyhow, so they're looking into noise cameras in New York, and that's to punish. It just says loud drivers, so I assume that's exhaust as well as your speaker system.
That's it.
All that stuff. So.
Listen, I want the boys to have fun, but there's a time and a place. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we should probably take a break because we do have some guests that are coming by here in a moment. And Case, can I get my outro music for the stream of consciousness?
The stream of consciousness there.
All right, as we take a break, I want to remind you that it is Tattoo Tuesday. We have your chance to win a Preston and Steve Show themed tattoo from Floating World Tattoo and Piercing. Text the word tattooed 39333. You might win by the end of the program. When we get back, we're going to have Mike Rainey and Tim Butterly stopping by. They got a gig coming up at Helium Comedy Club. Stay with us.
That's what we got.
That's all I noticed. I didn't
Notice.
That's it. I can't top that.
No, it ends there.
I will not be able
like
to.
Like a derailing train.
Right.
I see nobody heard that, right?
Nobody heard that. So let me go to here and more broken ribs. I have it says Walper. Is your name Walper?
Walter.
Walper.
Honestly, wouldn't you at least say
Walper?
Is this Judge Wapner calling in?
You got a
Walper.
nickname now, Walter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you hear what happened to a Walper.
That's not even a mistype. I'm looking at the T and P are like nowhere near each other on the keyboard.
Walper.
Name's Walper.
Let me get that straight. Your actual name is Walter. And what happened to you? So what happened to you, Walter?
All right. Well,
All right.
I've broken my hand.
Yeah.
I've fractured all my ribs.
Were these fights over your weird name, Walper?
It's not my name.
This guy's name's Walper. I'm gonna punch you.
But at least you got a great nickname today.
Walper.
Well, hang in there, brother. Okay.
From Touchstone Pictures, the inspiring story of a man named Walper. I've seen him. He's got some medical issues, but the worst thing is his name is Walper. And then a young therapist came into his life. Hi, I'm Kathy Romano. We're going to change that P to a T.
Simple as that.
And then his life turned around.
I'm the head of a Fortune 500 company. And I can do the saber dance.
That morning show's not making fun of me anymore.
Oh, man. A little while back, I had this idea. If we were to cast WMMR, the movie,
Yes.
who would play who? And we
That's
went
right.
down a list of people, and we had people suggest, and we actually narrowed down the cast of the WMMR movie.
What celebrities would play?
Exactly. And playing our program director, Bill Weston, John O'Hurley was the overwhelming
you were
I am-
the overwhelming choice.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I was hoping he'd have higher standards.
So to understand Bill Weston, he has a bit of your delivery. He is somewhere between Peterman and Ted Knight. So
agreed.
that would be the deal. So
we figured we'd come up, actually, Steve to come up with some lines that might be indicative of Bill.
These are things that he has said in various forms.
And we're calling this the Bill Weston story, Soup. There it is. He hates soup. It's a long story.
So a lot of this is very inside.
Do we have any soap opera music, which would...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind, give us a couple of Bill Weston lines. That'd be wonderful.
Here we go.
Okay.
Preston, try to refrain from mentioning on air that you occasionally use Band-Aids. It makes you sound privileged. I just saw the most amazing thing while driving in today. Firefighters were collecting donations at various intersections. Is that a Jewish thing? So last night, I was jarred awake from my slumber by a horrible nightmare. Both Preston and Steve were there in the studio, sitting on horses and eating soup. What say we file that one under who gives a crap? Oh, that recently widowed quadruple amputee was a terrible guest. She didn't bring the ha-ha.
Perfect. And last one.
On today's show, you had the Pope driving in a go-kart, you solved the John Benet Ramsey case, and you raised Kurt Cobain from the dead. I'd give it a C+.
I couldn't have asked for better.
My God, that was absolutely perfect.
I
have nothing like that. All of that stuff is taken out of context.
My God, it's like looking in a mirror.
It's like, by the way, the interview, I'll give it a B+.
B+.
No, that was terrific.
Oh,
thank you very much. And for playing along with, absolutely. I don't know, you're reading
Gold. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
All right, we're gonna have to probably pay a retainer to use that. So no drops. We're not gonna use those as drops. But thank you very much. That was a great interview.
By the way, who was the singer who did that ghastly song "Pina Colada"?
Oh, Rupert Everett.
Rupert Murdoch.
Everett.
Rupert Murdoch. No, it's Rupert.
Rupert Everett, wasn't it?
I think
Not
you're
the
right.
guy from Harry
No, Rupert
Potter?
Everett's an actor.
Yeah.
Who the hell am I thinking of?
That's Rupert.
I'm way off.
Oh, don't play it. Oh, it makes me ill.
Caught in the
I detest
Rupert
Holmes.
Rupert Everett is the actor.
I rarely would beat up on a song. This song makes me want to vomit.
Midnight.
Oh, stop it!
In the dunes of the Cape.
Wait, why do you hate it so much?
It's hideous. It's first of all, he says, "My lady," you know, "My lady." We got some problems with my lady, my old lady, you know. And then I'm gonna look in the newspaper and hook up with some chick. And
This would definitely be yacht rock.
The same my lady, and the same chick is hooking up with me that I was away
Surprised
from.
because it's very Buffett-esque, and
It's
you
not
are such a
Buffett-esque.
huge
It's
Buffett
ghastly.
fan. Okay.
It's ghastly.
Actually, Jimmy Buffett has said this is a perfect song.
He has not. He has not.
Pierre, it's all rock and roll.
See?
Yeah, isn't it all rock and roll? Isn't it all rock and roll?
All right.
Oh, man.
Turn myself against me. Turn.
It is about having an affair. Like he's trying to set up an affair, and his wife is trying to set up an affair.
Rock and roll.
When you listen to the lyrics,
this crap.
it's pretty messed up.
All right.
That's the great thing about rock and roll.
I'll stand.
You're into, as long as it's not Rupert Holmes, because that's crap.
See, the danger on this program is to reveal any vulnerability, and then it will be immediately seized on by the rest of the masses on the Preston and Steve compound complex, and then, but not just once, they'll save it in that file, and then when you least expect it, pull it out.
Well, you know now this will be something for you for a while.
Yes.
And then you'll be able. There was a second though Rupert Holmes song. Yes, there was. Besides the Pina Colada song. Do you remember that, Preston?
Dry Martini?
I don't know. Nick's going to have to look
Do
it up.
check, yes.
Something called Him, Steve? I don't know that is.
Yeah. Sing it, Nick.
But it came out in 1980. Pina Colada came out in 1979. It was right after. But he was, that was a hit single.
It's him.
By the way, you just said pina, and I've heard that that's technically the way you say the drink, pina colada.
Pina colada.
Although I always used to say pina colada, but he sings pina colada. If you like pina colada,
It's actually piñas. Yeah.
When you have more than one.
I hear pina colada. Hang on. Let's
Here,
listen.
let's play it.
Oh no!
Here we go. Hold on. I hear pina.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
You're just looking for reasons to hate it.
It's
Yeah,
actually
he is.
it's a letter. It's a letter in the Latino alphabet, an Enya.
Yeah.
Is that actual
And
letter.
also, she was an old
like
rock
Enya.
She
darling.
was, yes. She
Orinoco Flow.
That's right. That was Enya. I forgot about that. Oh my God.
All right. On my program today,
That song is bizarrely hypnotic too, isn't it?
Which one?
Orinoco Flow.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
All right. I'm sorry, Pierre.
Take two.
Try that again, Enya. Sorry.
That's rock and roll.
That's Orinoco Flow.
I like the first one better.
One more time. We're gonna have to go again. I love that. Yeah. Booth. She's got.
And you can sing it again.
In the land of peace.
Oh my God.
Let's do that again, Enya.
You don't want to leave it in? I just coughed up a manatee.
God. Someday yodeling's going to come back.
It will be.
It's all rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yodeling is rock and roll.
Except for Rupert Holmes, who is the biggest cancer in music. A tumor that needs to be excised. I wish him unending misery.
Where did he go? He's on the floor.
You killed him.
I'm so
Whatever you're
surprised he
into.
hates it.
I don't hate. I don't love it. I don't embrace it.
Rock, country rock, except for Rupert Holmes, who stinks so badly. He taints everything he touches. Like a plague he is on music.
There goes my peace and love.
Yeah, what do you mean you don't hate? You just tore him apart.
I take it all back.
By the way, somebody texted and said I would listen to an entire show of Steve doing cough takes of famous songs. Okay. I'll leave you with one more thing. Rage on and have a great day, gang. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Mickey Hart.
Yay! All right. Okay. Wow, I love the way you did that.
Well, thank you. I love the way you're
That was really great. You had rhythm. You had rhythm.
See?
Thank you.
You know,
Who could ask for anything more?
Let's get right into that. I love that you love rhythm so much. It's a huge part of your life.
It's everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not melody and it's not harmony, but it certainly is rhythm.
You were exposed to percussive instruments and rhythm early on. Your dad was well known and well respected. And
I wouldn't go that far.
He was a musician?
He was a musician?
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, really? All right.
But he did dabble.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
More
And
than
then,
dabble,
and then
actually.
you were working in a you had a job and you were
I had a job once.
a jazz club
Once.
Yeah.
A long time ago. I can't remember having the last time I had a job. Just thinking,
You don't call this a job?
of the idea of having to have a job just gives me the willies. I mean, what would I do with the job? Oh my God.
You wouldn't be a 9-to-5 guy working the cubicle?
No, I doubt it. But if I had to, I would.
You would.
Yeah, but I don't have to, and I won't.
Yeah.
But so you don't view what you do as a job?
Oh
work.
no, it's a service. It's a service industry. I mean, that's what music is all about. You know, you provide a place where people can come and have an emotional moment,
Right.
And ritualize. So, yeah, I know, and I think it's very profound, and I'm very, what should I say, honored or
Yeah,
blessed
sure.
or whatever you want to call it, to happen to fall into this universe as a percussionist, drummer. You know, to be able to do that is,
But maybe even
it's a
people.
good thing.
Yes.
People who are maybe in the same situation as you, viewing it as a job. The fact that you don't view it as you view it the way you do.
It's
pretty
not
amazing.
easy, but it's not like a job. It's like when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is think of, the new day and what kind of new rhythms there are in it and how I can interpret that. That's what musicians do. They interpret, society and whatever, you've seen or whatever it is, and they lay down that groove. And every 5-10 years you find a new groove, and you work at it. Yeah, you do work at it, but you work at play. You work to play.
Sure.
You have to keep your skill up. I play every day 2-3 hours.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Absolutely. In order to get up there and do what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an athletic event. It's not like lounge drumming and stuff. This is the power stuff,
Well, speaking of reinventing and finding new grooves, I want to ask you about John Mayer, because he's been with the band and touring with you guys for a stretch now. And I think a lot of people initially dismissed him as poppy and not the really great, incredible guitarist that he is. And from my perspective, he seems like the perfect fit for the Dead, because he holds you guys in reverence, but he can also hold his own. What are your impressions on John?
John's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger. And his guitar, he's beautiful. He plays great. He fits perfectly in the band, and he's a nice guy. I mean, I know he has this reputation and all that stuff, but I've never had a moment of weirdness with him. He's just a very pleasant person to be around, and he plays his ass off. You know.
Before he was a star, he played in the conference room down the hall in these offices. And I went to see his show that night, and one of his strings broke during the performance. He tuned the guitar to itself and kept it. He didn't miss a beat. And right then, I knew this guy had it, and I was so impressed by his ability.
I'll tell you when I knew he had it was one day when he was just joined the band, and I had gotten him into this droning things, feeding back, getting a little crazy. And so during the drums and bass part, he got down on his knee and he put the guitar into the speaker and he started feeding back. And I was looking at him and I was saying, oh, okay. So I walked around to the front of the speakers, sat down right next to him, and I had on one hand I had what do you call it, lighter fluid, and the other hand I had a Bic. And so he looked at me, I looked at him, and I went like that, and for a minute I thought he was going to do it. And then so he took it. He did take it while he was feeding back, and he put the lighter. He put the
WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. By the way, I wanted to mention our big freaking deal was with Wild Fork, and it was a $100 gift card for $50. So that's what we do for the big freaking deal. So we'll let you know when the next one comes up. Our next guests are in studio to promote a gig they got coming up, Helium Comedy Club. It is on Thursday night at 8 p.m. And I quote, they're the co-host of the acclaimed and financially successful podcast, Dad Meat. We love these guys. Please welcome Mike Rainey and Tim Butterly to the show.
Thank you so much.
Financially successful.
And for us, that means we have like $200 in our bank account.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
We were talking that the caveat of saying financially successful with the podcast does mean something these days. Because there's, 2.6 million different podcasts out there? And the bulk of them aren't financially successful. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you. It's only up for us because Tim and I have been at points in our life where we've only had enough money where we could buy one beer and we had to split a beer.
Yeah.
So,
That's a sad place.
Last time I was here, I asked you guys for gas money.
Did we give it?
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, man.
Here we are.
There we are. So the show's coming up at Helium Comedy. Are you doing the podcast that night, or is it just a conversation with you guys, or how's that going to work?
A little bit of a conversation and mostly stand-up sets from our friends.
Oh, okay.
Our good buddy Jake Matera, who's
we love
guys know
Jake.
him. John Del Calo, David James.
There's so many super talented, funny guys from the collective. Delco proper guys, and then beyond the extended family. I love seeing this happen for all you guys because, it was kind of fallow for a while, and now people are finally realizing this is a hotbed. And then comedians have come to go, oh yeah, Philadelphia is, and the area is generating some super talent. So, what kind of audience member comes to your shows?
It's mostly dudes that wear cargo shorts in February who have the social skills of raccoons.
There we go.
Yeah.
My kind of people.
It's probably 75% single ticket weirdos, and then there is the occasional confused wife or girlfriend there as well.
Do you get the groupie? Do you get the groupies? No.
Like I said, single ticket weirdos, dude.
I'll tell you what, the Little Stinkers, the serial killer podcast, right? So, Mike, you with Jake, our former calendar girl and photographer extraordinaire, Allison Dunlap, is a massive fan of you guys.
I have a blast doing the show on Little Snickers. We just put out a serial killer themed Christmas album, which is available at my website, onperks.com. So check that out.
Listen, and we've talked about this many times. Maybe it says something psychologically about us, but we are perpetually fascinated by serial killers.
Yeah.
And you guys are very funny when you take it on. But in the back of your mind, do you ever consider the notion as you run thin on serial killers that you will have to, in fact, start killing people yourself to generate content for the show?
I was just reminded of that yesterday. I bought an autographed copy of Jerry Sandusky's autobiography, and I posted about it. And as soon as I posted about it, I was like, this might be a little bit too far, even by my standards.
Yeah. But it's all, no matter what happens, again, the hope is that you draw the distinction where you say, oh, well, I'm not that guy, So when you watch these things, our inability to be able to process and understand is a good thing, and with a little bit of entertainment as well. So
I'm just interested in it. There has been instances where I've come across somebody who is a fan of the show where it's like, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not to that level. There was a guy who was talking about how much he loves the show, and he's like, hey, I live near the area where the Green River Killer used to murder people.
Wow.
And I pinpointed all the places where he murdered people, and I hung out in those places just to watch people walk past to see how easy it would be for me to victimize them.
God.
Like, dude,
Okay.
you belong in a friggin' cage, bro.
Yeah.
Who's the guy? The kid's name is escaping me. He was actually going to college for criminal justice. He was the classic Hannibal Lecter type.
Jake Matera.
Jake Matera.
Yeah.
But he killed the co-eds in that house with the one.
Yeah, that was not that long ago.
Like a year ago.
Oh, what the heck
And
was his name?
His parents were in the Poconos.
Yes.
Oh, Brian Koberger.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that was a perfect example of a guy who actually said, I wanted to see, or at least had relayed that he wanted to see if he could do it.
And that's the kind of guy that comes to Dad Meat shows.
There you go.
So for people who haven't listened to Dad Meat, explain what the podcast is.
Dad Meat, Tim and I started that because we were a part of Delco Proper, and when that fell apart, we were just like, all right, it's done. Everything's done for us. And
End of the line, dude. Back
End
to
of the line.
corporate IT. And then that can only drain the chemicals in your brain for so long before you totally freak out. And so we hit absolute rock bottom and then started a comedy podcast and stayed in Philly and just grew it by focusing on our boys and showing people how funny they are. And then, we do live shows like this to actually get those dudes a chance to go and hit some dingers in front of people. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah.
When Mike came walking in, he handed me a book. You have a book called On Perks.
Yeah, I've been whacked on a lot of things. Painkillers was one of them. I had about a 3-year run with prescription painkillers because of a hurt back. And unfortunately, I was very active on Facebook during the time I was whacked on painkillers.
Man.
So I was embarrassed. You know how Facebook will show you your statuses?
Yeah.
Hey, a year ago you posted this, and it's always the most mortifying thing you could imagine. Those popped up so often, I was like, all right, well, rather than kill myself, I'm going to put these into a book and then write a present-day analysis as to what was probably also going on and what I was thinking.
Okay.
So I made that a book on Perks, and again, on my website.
And how much of an eye-opener was that for you? I mean, I'm sure most of these you don't remember doing.
I don't. There's some that are crystal clear, and then there's other ones, like one in the book is like, I love trees and would love to learn more about them. Like, dude, what was going on at that point, man? Like, trees rule, yeah. But,
yeah.
I just saw something that said, nothing makes me cringe more than my Facebook post from 2014.
That's it.
Yeah. Now imagine.
That's brilliant. You put that in a book.
Tim wrote a glowing review on the back, and I think it's been said that the quickest way to get someone who has any sort of substance abuse or drinking problem to really consider changing is to show them video of them or writings or musings under the influence, because it's like, oh my God. So, but the fact that you sucked up the pain and put it together in a book is brilliant. I love it.
I appreciate that. And it's just mortifying. Every time I see it, it's mortifying, but it is nice when people buy
So you were telling us a story off air. Can we mention that here?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, when you were supposed to be on the show when we had the Delco Proper guys in there. Explain what happened.
Steve, so what happened?
I told Tim made it in.
So what happened was April 24th, 2017, I was supposed to come on. I was Perk Mike on Delco Proper. I was scheduled to come in with my dear friend Tim Butterly, Tommy Pope, and John McKeever. The night before, Tommy Pope's like, you want to go get a few pops? I was like, yeah, let's do it. Hung out in media all night, and Tommy went home at a reasonable hour. For me, it was one of those nights where cocaine was raining from the heavens.
Wow.
So I stayed out all night. I ended up at Parks Casino watching my coke dealer play craps all night. And I actually drove here. I was in the parking lot outside. I had an 8-ball, and I was snorting lines off a CD case. I was like, I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up.
God.
Fortunately, something told me, Mike, you shouldn't go up and do the show with those guys. And I didn't. But then I watched or I listened to the replay, and it was like being visited by the ghost of Christmas.
Yeah.
So thank God I didn't do that.
The ghost of cocaine last night.
A much more aggressive ghost.
Yes. Yeah, he's brutal, man. You're just going to stand in the kitchen with him talking about ideas all night.
All night.
Yeah.
And then I watched him play crabs.
But fortunately, that was what helped me straighten out my life. And
So that was right. You were here
Right
in the
here,
parking lot,
yeah.
about to come up on our show, and you realized you couldn't do it, and that was kind of the light bulb moment to go, I got to get it together.
yeah,
Wow.
Fortunately, it popped in my brain that maybe you shouldn't go up, because there are times where I thought I was killing it. Like, I was here at 7 a.m. I'm snorting lines off a CD case. I'm watching porno on my phone. And I'm just like, yeah, I am the man.
You're living the life.
And then there was a part of me that said, Mike, you are not the man right now, and you should not go up there and expose yourself to these people.
Wow.
Tim, where did you break on the decision? Stay in the parking lot or come up? Where
I
were
was
you?
begging him to come upstairs.
I called Tim from the casino. It was like 4 a.m. and fortunately Tim wasn't up. And I called Tim when I'm at my worst, which I think says a lot about what a guy he is.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, he didn't answer because I was like, yeah, just meet me at the casino. I left a voicemail for him. And then I came here solo. And yeah, I ended up at a motel room on Baltimore Pike.
Well, I'll tell you what,
I just thought Mike was the coolest guy I knew at this point. Right. I got in his Chrysler 300 and he opened the center console to offer me pills, and I was just like, that might be the coolest thing anyone's ever done. I didn't know any better. I should have intervened. No one intervened. No one interventioned him because I was just like, this guy's fucking killing it. Sorry.
Don't mind if I do.
Hit the button.
Oh, you
sorry.
boo-boo.
Sorry, that's my bad. Sorry, you start talking about cocaine and gets my blood up.
Let's try some of that
cocaine. So John McKeever did this Christmas movie for QVC. You have a Christmas story right here. Would QVC put this?
Yeah, it's Snow and Coke.
Snow and Coke. A little different.
Yeah, I do. I am familiar with QVC, and I had a morbidly obese aunt who passed away and who left me 5 Gs. God bless Aunt Patsy. But yeah, she was obsessed with QVC, so I would be honored to work with QVC.
QVC's great. Yeah.
It's also big addict contingent watching that stuff.
Yeah, it's a big company.
I have some family members who ordered 3 fax machines over a phone call when they were at their worst. So
I've got a friend who's now a host on QVC, and the amount of product that she pushes out she's on for like 5 minutes and she'll sell like 10,000 units. It's like unbelievable. She said the people, like those people that
sitting
watch
by the phone collecting disability.
They are no joke.
Oh, and dude, around the holidays when they have the Christmas stuff that they're selling, that's like I can just leave it on in the background, no problem. You don't have to follow a plot line.
No.
Did they sell it or not? It's the best.
Yeah, you had the liquor lady in here. Like, you'd be surprised at how well QVC pairs with people with bare feet. Like, if you got feet that are rotting, QVC's for you.
We used to go to sleep with the QVC on, and we couldn't do it anymore because every single time I'd be laying there trying to fall asleep, and I'm like, I wonder what this steam mop looks like. And I would turn around, and now I have to go to sleep to something I've already seen before.
A ladder. I'd be an idiot not to get a new one while it's on sale.
And you can order, by the way, like you just now the QR code pops right up.
Oh.
So if you got the app, you just point it towards your TV. You got that ladder before you know it. Oh, man. Yeah, it's amazing.
Just got easier.
Once you realize you don't actually have to get up to scan the QR code, you can do it from sitting down.
Is it so? Could that actually, in the scenario you were talking, if you blew your Coke money on ladders, could that in a way be treatment?
One way or another, I'm getting closer to heaven.
There you go.
The roofers I know, that's no.
So you said you're going to have some surprise guests coming down, and Preston asked a question. I'm not sure. Are you recording a new episode of the podcast live?
We might. Honestly, we put
no, we like to keep it in the room. We like to make it very special for the live audience.
We
It
just
never
want to have
escapes.
fun.
I see.
We just want to have a good time. And evident. We're going to end the street. Tim's going to be getting high with people out on Sanson Street.
Yeah.
We'll probably end up wrestling people.
Yeah,
So-
that's the way it should be for the
It's just
holidays.
dudes having fun.
Yeah. With Delco Proper and the crew, obviously that it looked like it had some traction, it had some to it, and
podcast. But I was reading, Tim, do you also have one called Field Tripping?
I have a fake TV show on YouTube called Field Tripping where I grab a